Hello, all, and good evening. I hope we're live here now. Just gonna take a minute to double check, make sure that we are good to go. And I am here by myself at this time. Miss Claudia will be joining me. We are going to be watching the 2014 Daytona 500. In my opinion, one of my favorite Daytona 500s ever. Claudia, of course, has not seen this race. This was my current favorite, Alex Bowman's first Daytona 500. So kind of a nostalgic thing to be watching this one. Claudia will be here a little later. I think she's going to be bringing me some food, some dinner, some Papa John's. 25% off all regular menu price item orders now through 12/31/2021. Just use code DannyB25 at checkout. Save you 25% off on your pizza. With that being said, Claudia's going to be a little bit late, so we're going to go ahead and switch on over here. And we should be good to go. I think we have it all set up here. We are watching this from the channel Full NASCAR Races is who has uploaded this to YouTube. So if you will, give some love to the person who has uploaded this for us. Full NASCAR Races is the channel. I don't know who the LP 2008 is. I don't know if that's who the original poster was, and now it's on this channel. But we do have it here from Full NASCAR Races on YouTube. So with that being said, let's begin the 2014 Daytona 500.
It's the biggest race in motorsports.
It's been memorable.
It's always unpredictable.
It's historic.
And there's a fight between Cale Yarborough and Donnie Allison.
If you win this race, you win this race.
You win this race, it stays with you forever.
That I can promise you.
Does it stay with you forever there,
It's
Junior?
the Great American Race.
The moment has just about arrived. Opening day and NASCAR's most important race all at the same time. The 56th running of the Daytona 500. We're glad you're watching NASCAR on Fox. Chris Myers and gang here and to call his 14th consecutive Daytona 500 for Fox. Let's join
14th consecutive Daytona 500. Now that was 2014. So with that being said, this is 2021. So
it seems like just yesterday, for the first time in those 40 years, I truly
7 more
believe
years
that
plus
43
14.
drivers
Wow,
awoke
okay.
in Daytona
Well,
Beach this morning with a
calling-
single thought. I can win
Yeah, I guess
the
that's
Daytona
true. This is the 21st
500,
year,
and it's no idle boast.
21st
as close
year.
as these cars
21
are,
consecutive years that Mike Joy will have called the Daytona 500 this year. Wow. Where's Claudia? She is on the way with food. She'll be here a little later.
You can win the Great American Race. Darrell Waltrip won it in 1989. Larry McReynolds won it as crew chief with Davey Allison and with Dale Earnhardt. The emotions
Mike Joy
of a
has been
capable
doing this for
driver
a long time.
as we approach this start.
Yeah, listen,
I wouldn't be
Mike,
surprised if
we
he
all know the
retires here before you
magnitude
know
of this
it.
race. I mean, we started racing here in
It
1959.
wouldn't shock me if
this is the
it just becomes
birthplace of
Jeff
speed.
Gordon
People,
and
drivers have come from all over
Clint
the
Boyer
world
up
to
in the
run
booth.
this race. That's how big a deal it is. But as a driver, when I bolt myself down in that car right now, I got so many my emotions are running all over the place. I know the start's going to be chaotic, and I know I got to be prepared for that. But the one thing, it's my golden rule, and I pound it. I got to not beat myself. That's when I roll off pit road and I start down through there. The first thing I say, Lord, don't let me beat myself today. The competition I can handle, but don't let me do it to myself.
All right, so much of this race is in the hands of the drivers around you, Larry, and that just increases the unpredictability.
Yeah, and Mike, there is no set winning plan or winning formula to win this 500-mile race. You have to develop your plan and your strategy as this race unfolds. But the biggest thing, whether it's the driver or the crew chief, you have to be smart enough to adjust that plan throughout the race. Biggest example we may see today of a game plan that gets changed, the winner from this race a year ago, Jimmy Johnson, starting at the rear of the field in a backup car, so they may have to adjust that plan
I forgot he started
a lot
back
as this
on
race
this one.
unfolds.
49 drivers
Yeah,
attempted to make the
completely
race.
slipped
Let's
my
have a look
mind.
at the starting lineup, 43 cars deep
We got
for this Daytona 500.
Martin Truex Jr., his first year with them, and Austin Dillon. Rookie Austin Dillon at that, your front row.
Again, but he'll be in a backup car. Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin in those Joe Gibbs Toyotas won the two Budweiser dual qualifying races. Jeff Gordon, 3-time 500
What's that
winner, and
on the
Casey
front?
Kane, who's finished twice in
some
7th
Chevy
place.
pace cars.
Marcus Ambrose
Messi
ties
Marcus.
his best Daytona 500 start, and Kurt Busch, second 3 times in this race. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 2004 winner.
A lovely
and Paul Menard,
fifth
top
row
10
there.
in 2 of the last 3.
Dale Jr., Paul Menard, my
Josh
third favorite
Wise
driver.
driving the Phil Parsons car that finished top 10 last year, and Brian Scott, a rookie. Eric Almirola and Richard
Hope y'all are doing good.
43 is in his 4th 500. Trevor Bayne, the 2011 winner. A.J. Allmendinger with a new team ties his best start, and Kyle Larson, the talented, touted rookie for Chip Ganassi.
Nah, just because Claudia ain't here, don't mean to be spoiling anything, guys. She might be checking a stream out from where she's at. She's waiting on pizza right now, from what I understand.
And 4th place finisher in the 500 twice, Clint Boyer. Tony Stewart, 19 Daytona wins.
Well,
still
movement,
for the
yes,
500
most people do know
Ohio
what happens at the end of this
Jamie
race, but
McMurray won in 2010.
Claudia didn't start watching until midway through 2016, so honestly, she hasn't really watched anything prior to that, except for, a few things that I've shown her. So she has not seen this race. When she gets back here, definitely no one needs to be spoiling anything.
22nd consecutive race for Bobby. Danica Patrick, last year's pole
But
sitter, and the runner
I'll say
in
it's
06,
one of my
Casey Mears.
favorites Daytona
Alex
500.
Bowman.
Hey, there he is, Bowman, the rookie.
Second in 2011. A return for Brian Vickers, his 8th Daytona 500 start, and 2-time defending champ of the 500, Jimmy Johnson. Brad Keselowski, who finished 4th here last year with Sunoco Rookie of the Year, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Joey Logano, who finished 9th in 2012.
Wow, I didn't know that both Joey and Brad started in the back on this one.
Kyle Busch, the
And
newest he started
these two,
in the
wow.
field in 10 years, and 2007 Daytona 500 winner Kevin Harvick. Reed Sorensen back in a
Justin
full-time
Allgaier,
ride, making his
back when he was
5th
in the Cup
500
Series.
start. Justin Allgaier, his first. Rookie Parker Kligerman.
Mikey,
shares row
there he
21
is.
with 2-time 500 winner Michael Waltrip, and David Reagan, who's won the July race at Daytona and also at Talladega, anchors the field in 43rd.
What do you say we talk to the hottest guy in Daytona? Hey, Denny Hamlin, it's DW in the Fox Sports booth. You got a copy there, brother?
Nothing changes. They call him the hottest guy in Daytona, and he's won the last 2 Daytona 500s.
Hey, man, you can do something today that nobody else has done. You can clean sweep the weekend down here, the week down here. Are you ready to go, bud? Are you ready to go racing?
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, it seems like it's been forever since Homestead, but our team's just been on a heck of a roll down here, and our cars have been great in the draft, and obviously today Hamlin's going to be a big factor.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. It's hard to believe that both Alex Bowman and Larson have been in the Cup Series this long.
Yeah, your car has been amazing, buddy. And Denny, what do you think? You just run out front, try to lead this thing all day? Is that your plan?
Honestly, that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to stay up front as far forward as I can.
Danny wins 3 in a row, calling it. I wish it was me who's winning 3 Daytona 500s, but no. Talk about Denny, I bet.
You got to make your way up through the field. You end up in the wreck anyway, so I'm at least have a little fun with it.
Got 120 people watching. Appreciate y'all checking out tonight. Claudia will be back a little later. Again, she has never seen this race before. Hope y'all are having fun. And getting ready to go racing here. Lights are off on the pace car and about ready to go.
Mike, when Austin Dillon played Little League Baseball, he wore jersey number 3. When he was 10, he posed for pictures in Victory Lane with his grandfather's driver, Dale Earnhardt. When he was 13, he told his grandfather he wanted to race. Well, Richard Childress handed him a weed eater and said, go to work. Well, here he is just 10 years later, leading the field to the green flag on the pole position. They were a little conservative the other night, but if the car's right, they're going to let him race today.
Michael Toss asked Danny Talk, what do you think of Alex Bowman's new paint scheme? I think it is absolutely beautiful, and I have definitely ordered my die cast. Got it in liquid color, but that's going to be the best to match the finish that they got on that car, I think.
He's going to play a lot of strategy throughout the day. 2-tire, and fuel only stops until the final corner. And when the guys go over the wall, only one positional change. These veterans ready to showcase
rest
their
in
talent
peace,
today.
Steve Burns, miss him.
Every driver in a backup car had to sacrifice his or her starting position. But it's especially painful when you were on the front row. So why is New Jersey's Martin Truex Jr. smiling? Because after putting just a handful of laps on his backup car in yesterday's practice, he said, without a shadow
Christian,
of a doubt,
Steve Burns, he passed away a few a number of years ago now at this point. I'm definitely missing not many people out there who embodied what it meant to be NASCAR broadcaster like Steve. You know, he worked with many of the greats, you know, across his career, and you know, now his son Bryson is trying to build his, you know, young media career as well. And, you know, definitely wish Bryson the best of luck.
No rain for at least the next hour.
His dad will never be forgotten.
Tells us, but later in the day, who knows? 80 degrees. Track temp, the asphalt to 93. They're in some sunshine here.
Who do I think is going to win the Daytona 500? It's hard to tell at this point. I mean, we gotta wait and see the qualifying looks like, what the duels look like. I guess I'll just have to stay tuned to the NASCAR Weekly podcast coming up here before you know it. First episode back on Wednesday night, January 27th. It'll be with myself and my good friends Eric Eastep, Darren Gilliam, and the host for the first episode of the season 4, the Iceberg.
Oh baby, anticipation. Green flag is in the air. Buggity, buggity, buggity. Let's go racing, guys.
And the 2014 Daytona 500 is on. If you want to know who I want to win this year's Daytona 500, it obviously would be my favorite driver on the series, Alex Bowman. Who do I think can win it? Denny Hamlin will definitely be hard to beat. Other guys who obviously can be good there, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano. But I kind of have a weird feeling. I think it might be Kyle Busch's year. You know, he's done about everything he can in the sport except for winning Daytona 500. And 2021 might just be the year for Kyle Busch to start off on a high note and finally win a Daytona 500.
The Daytona 500. How exciting.
What lap are we on? We just got started. We're on lap 2.
Coming up the middle, Brian Vickers, 55, along with Kyle Busch in the 18. And at the point, Denny Hamlin puts his Toyota.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Bubba win it there too, Christian. It'd be good to see him etch his name into history and silence some of the haters a little bit.
That car has been so fast, and particularly when it's out front.
You talked about him being undefeated in Speed Weeks. Remember, he won the last race of the year in 2013 at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Casey Kane, the 5, now the man in the middle. 2 distinct rows and the 20. That yellow and black Toyota of Kenseth up in front of Kane now as he and Trevor Bayne try to make something happen through the center lane.
I see Jeff Gordon there, and current commentator for Fox Sports. If you guys are Jeff Gordon fans, you're going to want to tune into the channel tomorrow. I got a pretty good video coming out. I think you guys are going to like it. Worked with a writer from sportscasting.com on this one, and I think y'all like that one. Kyle Larson as well. Kyle Larson has never been a good super speedway racer. He seems to always run into the bad luck ever since his rookie year, it seems.
Yeah, he just kind of kissed it right there, and I thought he's okay.
Yeah, he's never quite had good luck on the super speedways.
And this is what just happened up in turn 3, and Larson has made it to pit road. Heavy damage right front. Surprisingly, in these first 3 laps, the field has split into 3 distinct packs.
Obviously, we all remember how Larson's super speedway career started, going up into the fence in his first Xfinity race there.
I tell you, one driver
looking like the 2013 500 here, single file. Yeah, at this point, I remember I was getting some bad vibes. It's going to be just like the year before.
And he's already cracked the top 8 in just 6 laps, 4 laps.
Larry, the draft is so huge. This car this year is pushing a little bigger hole in the air. And when you're way back like that...
Danny, what video did you do on Jeff? You'll just have to find out tomorrow.
And, of course, we know how Kyle is. He can kick his way through traffic about as good as anybody I've ever seen. And he's done it again today.
Rookie Kyle Larson lost a lap with that pit stop and repair. 26 cars in the lead pack. Then a long.
So in 2014, at this time, I was a fan of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Alex Bowman wasn't on my radar at that point, so I was a big Earnhardt Jr. fan at this point, but also liked Paul Menard. I've jokingly always call him my third favorite. It seems like there'd always be, you know, a couple guys I like, but Menard was always one of them. So I was happy to see at this point Menard and Earnhardt Jr. running pretty good in this race.
An organized group of drivers to be able to pull up toward the front.
Right now, Mike, it's kind of like taking off in an airplane. You know, the start off of this race, you take off, got to keep your seatbelt on, your tray tables all put up. But after we get squared away here a little bit, these guys will get their legs under them, they'll start making some moves.
Just don't ring that call button.
No, don't get out of your seat.
Denny Hamlin on point where he has spent most of the week.
Something pretty cool about seeing all those cars traveling that fast, bumper to bumper. That big crowd at Daytona. And of course, the 2021 Daytona 500 will not have that kind of crowd. I know a few people who got their emails actually this week saying that they unfortunately were not selected to have tickets for the Daytona 500. I think when they was doing their social distancing seating for it this year, they kind of prioritized group seating. I know one person, though, who was able to still get a chance to go. They got something called an infield table or whatever that was. So basically, they used their credit that they had been given from what they had paid for their ticket already. They applied that credit and paid the difference on this infield table for 4 people. And the thing is, it's just one person. But they wanted to go to the Daytona 500 that bad that they decided to go ahead and get that table. So it tells you what people will go through in order to see this race. I'm blessed I got to see it this year before anyone knew it, or not this year, but last year before anyone knew what COVID was, and stayed around, see everything happen on Monday. As you know, scary as that was of Ryan Newman's crash, but this is the race. If you've never had a chance to see a Daytona 500 in person, you need to. I don't think I'll be going to the Daytona 500 this year. I know all my friends, Jarrett, Darian, a lot of them, they're going to go to it. I don't think Eric's going, but I know Jarrett and Darian are. And I probably think Jake and a few others are going. Oh, hey, Nicholas. I really appreciate that. $20. That's really nice of you, bud. Wanted to say thank you for doing this once a week. I watched your video from Daytona last year and would say it has me excited for this year's 500, even though it's going to be different. Question, where do I find the market area? Oh, I think you're talking about where all the diecast vendors and stuff are. That is over at the Daytona Flea Market. It's not at the racetrack at all, but you can find that over at the Daytona Flea Market. It's a little bit away from it, but not too far away. If I was you, I'd probably try to go to that maybe on Friday before the truck race, or maybe on Saturday or something like that.
Get the cars settled down, everybody kind of find where they want to be, and then they'll go racing here in a little while. But right now, they just want to get the start out of the way, and then they'll start. Yeah,
I kind of agree with you there, Devin. This race was a mirror of the 2013 Daytona 500 for a while.
Let's take you side by side.
Right now, we're definitely looking at it. Oh, they've sped up and got rid of the copyright on the commercials here, so I really appreciate full NASCAR races doing that. That's good. That's good. So now we're in the quiet here because we're obviously under commercial break, so I got to keep you all entertained. So let's look at the comments here. Michael Toss, Anybody Talks, what's your advice for starting a YouTube channel? Just do something that makes you happy. That's what I would say. You know, I love NASCAR. I've loved it ever since I was a kid and found a way to make videos that I enjoy and the style that I like to do. And yeah, just do what makes you happy, have goals, and, you know, you can make a career out of this. I'm actually fortunate enough. I don't want to say who I'm working for, but I just accepted a full-time job opportunity. I'm getting ready to get started here soon with a company as their full-time YouTube channel manager. So I'll be handling a channel that has
planned move.
Almost 90,000 subscribers at this point, and they're growing every day, and they're doing great content. And I'll actually be the one who's responsible for that now. And I'm looking forward to get started. Scott McNick coming to $5. Appreciate that. I'm honestly surprised that I'm still able to go to the 500 this year with me being a first-time ticket buyer. Well, Scott, congratulations, because it's been very hard from what I understand for everyone to get to go. But I hope you enjoy it and have a great time down there. Northwest Cup Series says, hello, Danny B. How are you? I'm good. How are you?
To suck that debris off that grill.
And Mike, this is the way. This is the way that
appreciate y'all saying congrats. That's very nice of you.
Odds-on favorite, and you see the grill. You see the stuff on the grill right there. Here's one of the odds-on favorite to win this race today. And the piece just flew off there. I think I saw. But you can't prepare for something like that to happen, but you have to be able to react to it.
Remember William Ayers says he's a NASCAR fan from Indiana. I hope you get to go to Indy whenever it's in town up there.
And Kurt Busch, the self-described outlaw of the Sprint Cup Series, is out in front. His younger brother, Kyle Busch, has picked up 25
spots. This is the first year that Kurt Busch was in the 41, I think.
Won him a Sprint Cup championship. His temper cost him a couple of high-profile rides in this series. He spent last year with single-car
they really had to stress this story, didn't they?
Rebuilding his resume and vaulting that team into a contender. This year, Gene Haas, Tony Stewart's partner in what was a 3-car race team, said, I'd like to see my company's name in victory lane. And he hired Kurt Busch and formed a whole new 4th team around him.
The thing about Kurt,
Gene Haas, you got to do that. He put you in victory lane a few times.
When things didn't go well, he
including
blew up. And he
this race in 2017.
Handle that, and I think he's got it under control now.
He has to make this work. This is his 4th race team in 4 years.
I wonder if we're going to say that about Daniel Suarez. He's got to make this work. This is his 4th race team in 4 years.
16th lap of 200 in Daytona Beach.
Which I think the Daniel Suarez thing is pretty cool how they got Pitbull on it now. So hopefully they've got a good financial backer that can keep them going really good.
Daytona, as we introduce Budweiser Speed Tweets, a new interactive game where fans compete for a chance to race go-karts with Kevin Harvick. Visit Budweiser.com/speedtweets to register and for
I feel like that's one of those things that they say that they're doing, but no one actually won it. Like, I don't remember that. That's back when no one really used Twitter either.
After Denny Hamlin led 9 and Austin Dillon, the rookie, led the, not a Daytona 500 rookie, but rookie contender, led the first lap. Greg Biffle was running 21st. Ironically, the same spot Kyle Larson was running in when he cut a tire and hit the wall. Look at what happened to Biffle a couple of laps ago in the 16.
What happened to
Darryl, it's almost like Brad Keselowski, and that 2-car was right there at that left rear quarter panel. It kind of pushes him up the racetrack a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say there's a little arrow of push involved there. But here's the thing, Larry. This racetrack, I can't tell you folks at home how different this racetrack is today on what these guys have seen down here for the last week. I mean, most of our practice has been at night. It's been overcast. It's been cool. The track has a lot of grip. Right now, not much grip out there.
Greg Biffle lost a lap making a pit stop for repairs.
Wasn't the 33? I can't remember.
Yeah, Mike,
this
we
point.
just saw the damage to the right side. What crew chief
Brian
Matt
Scott.
Fuchsia was concerned about was whether or not that sheet metal on the right side
His career didn't last long. He probably needs to go on a drivers he forgot about series.
They've cleared the tires and changed 4 tires while they were in.
Biffle's been one of the fastest Fords here all week.
Well, the good thing is he has found one of his teammates, Carl Edwards, in that 99 car, and even though he's a lap down, he's the first driver 1 lap down to get that free pass, and he's running speeds comparable to the lead pack.
4 Chevys out front led by Kurt Busch. The first Toyota is Denny Hamlin 5th. The first Ford, Marcus Ambrose
We
in
are
6th.
22 laps at 200 into the book here.
Overheating problem as trash on the grill.
And I promise y'all Claudia will be here. I don't know what's taking her so long right now, but she'll be here before you know it.
Yes, we're good. Dropping quick.
Dropping quick, he meant the temperature, water temperature.
Yeah, he has to watch 2 things with his gauges because it's a pressurized system. And where you really get in trouble, if you get too much water pressure, then that pop-off valve kicks off. So it's watching water temperature and water pressure.
I tell you how critical it is, water pressure and temperature. Most of these guys have moved those 2 gauges to the top of their dashboard, where it's
Caution's
in the
out.
driver's line of sight, so he doesn't have to look down at all.
What's it for?
Caution flag waves in Daytona. Kyle
for Larson again.
who made a pit stop earlier after cutting a
Yeah,
tire.
Kyle Larson's
against the
first
wall,
Daytona 500 did
now
not
he goes
go
to the
that
inside.
good.
Looks like a little more right front
And
fender
honestly,
damage.
he
you know,
really
one
just
thing
has bad luck
gotta
on super
believe if I could
speedways,
just wait on
and
a
I
tire,
can't
would be
say
my
that I
first
expect his first one back since everything happened to go that well for him. But hey, at least he won the Chili Bowl
Not the
again.
way that little 21-year-old wanted to start this 2014 season. Great news, though, for Greg Biffle. We just had spoke about him. He's the first driver one lap down.
Daryl, in that spin, these cars run inner liners inside the Goodyear racing tires, so the tire didn't go all the way down to the rim, but it looked like the
That's a
right
good
front
point.
was
Claudia
flat
does
all
show
the way
up.
around.
Just tell her she missed nothing but train racing,
I
so
can
that's
see the
true.
right rear there. That's why the car spun violently the way it did. You can see coming to pit road, he lost a right rear tire this time.
Pit road is closed. There will be no opportunity for the leaders to stop this time around. If you stop when pit road's closed, you restart in the back.
Now, Denny Hamlin told Daryl under the pace laps about how many drivers we have out there, and we now have 42 drivers on the lead lap.
Looks like we got
Pit road will be
237 people
absolute
watching with me
melee
tonight.
right now with
So
different
appreciate y'all
strategies
being
that
there.
probably every
Please be
driver
sure
come
to
pit
leave a
road.
like on the stream. It helps promote the
Today's
channel
aerial
out to other
coverage
people to
provided
check
by
out.
Goodyear.
And I
Everything
hope y'all
they
having a good
are
night.
making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours. Goodyear, official tire of NASCAR. And you're not seeing double. One of those Goodyear blimps is making
I don't
its
remember
final
this.
voyage here today. The Spirit of America, tail number N3A, will go into the Guinness Book of World Records for longest continuous use of one airship when it retires following today's Daytona 500.
Wow.
Here's another reason I really feel like pit road is going to be very chaotic, because with only running 22 laps, I think as we
Where is
saw
Claudia?
in the
She's
earlier
supposed to be out
races
getting
here at Speed
pizza,
Weeks,
but
we're
she
gonna
might have
see
went
most
and
of these
saw her
drivers
parents
do
too.
fuel
I don't
only.
know.
When those drivers at the front of the pack, when they're full of fuel, they're going to be leaving their pits, and some of the drivers at the back of the pack, they're not even going to be to their pits yet.
But Larry, this is my
I don't think
favorite
this year will
pit
be
stop.
for Larson.
I finally get to come to pit road. I get them, if my
I hope
car's
it's
not real
good.
good, I can get some adjustments
It's gonna be-
made. I can
gonna be
debrief a
interesting to see
little
how
bit
he
here.
does.
I can take a deep breath. We've
Hey,
got
Nicholas, appreciate the
23 laps
$5
under our
again.
belt.
What's your
This is a
thoughts on the
great little
15-year-old
break
ARCA
here.
driver using his
Regroup.
phone to video
Let's go
record
again.
while testing a
And
Daytona?
watch these athletes at
Not
skilled
bright.
positions going
Not a good
over this
idea.
wall.
And
Many of them
ultimately,
are
he's gonna get
former
punished.
NCAA and professional
Not a good idea.
athletes in
Can't
other
say I'd ever
sports,
condone that.
because timing and agility is at a premium here to get that car on and off pit road as quickly as possible. Pit road is open. Krista.
And we know how important pit stops are, as you documented, just trying to make sure they don't slide into their stall. Paul Menard, a fast car. He wants rear grip. The call for Paul on tires, 2. Matt?
Denny Hamlin hit pit road in the 5th position. He has an opening behind his box. Denny said the car was too tight. The Matt Kenseth in the 20 car spins around, almost hits his teammate Denny Hamlin. Chassis adjustment, he's away for the 11.
No chassis adjustments on the 41. Right side tires, Matt. Also, right side tires for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He says his car is a little bit tight and bottoming out just a little bit.
Now, Matt Kenseth did a very smart thing here. You must complete your service
I forgot about
within
this.
your pit box. There's no rule saying which way you have to be facing. We're under caution, 25 laps into the 500.
It's like, well, I'm already in. I might as well get my pit stops.
Getting ready for the restart. Kurt Busch, Paul Menard, a pair of Chevys on the front row. Double file restarts all the way through this race. Behind them, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Denny Hamlin, and Clint Boyer. Green flag.
And
A couple
we are
of
back
kilometers
racing.
on pit road during that caution. We'll catch those up in a bit.
Denny Hamlin at 11 was pushing Kurt Busch in the 41, and Jeff Gordon coming to take the green, and that 24 was pushing Denny Hamlin.
Riding with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Right now in 5th, second on the inside behind Paul Menard.
41's out there a little bit too far. See how it works out for him. You get that 4 out, the other guys get a huge run on you. Sometimes they can go right by you.
It's bad I saw that Geico car and started thinking it was Ty
Kyle
Dillon,
Busch,
but
18.
no, it's Casey Mears.
Snuggled up against Dale Jr. And Marcus Ambrose up on the outside.
Oh, Paul Menard going to scoot him out of the way. Menard going to the lead.
Coming on the middle lane with Jeff Gordon. Boy, they hung Kurt Busch in the 41 right out there to drive.
Yeah, he had too big a lead there. I know that doesn't sound right.
There you go, Paul Menard leads your lap in the Daytona 500.
Ate him up.
When he wasn't even in the last Daytona 500 me and Claudia watched the other night, the 2007 one. He failed to qualify for that one.
24, Earnhardt in the 88.
You see our pole sitter, Austin Dillon, in that 3.
Tyler asked me if I can do a Rise and Fall Cole Triples team since I did Ricky Bobby's team. You just have to wait. Those kind of videos are just for April Fool's Day only, so you only get a chance to do those once a year. So I have to decide which one I'm going to do for this year.
He earned the outside pole for the Daytona 500, but lost it when his car was trashed on the last lap of his Thursday night qualifying race.
Yeah, you know, you throw a couple of right side tires on these things, put a little more wedge in them, adjust them up a little bit. You get a little more racy. Every time we go in the pits, we're going to get a little more racy.
Truex has help on the bottom in that 78. A couple of cars going with him now, trying to march to the front. Ricky Stenhouse, Ryan Newman back there.
Junior, you're getting left out in the middle there.
Was in the lower groove there in that 88 car trying to pull Kyle Busch in that 18. Then he got stuck in the middle, but now he's getting a little bit help, I think, from his teammate Casey Kane in that 5.
Kyle Busch drops the 18 to the bottom.
Interesting paint scheme Kyle Busch had in this race. What is that, like peanuts, M&Ms, or what is that exactly?
Ambrose up top in the 9, Dillon the 3 right behind him.
We've got 3 wide all the way back through there. The track's plenty wide enough, but this is happening at almost 200 miles per hour.
Hey, Claudia B, where you at? I want to eat some pizza.
I know that maybe the fans at home can't see him move around the way they do, but the driver has his hands full when he's in the middle of a 3-wide situation like that.
Now watch the 18 of Kyle Busch on the bottom, the yellow car. He almost had enough coming through the tri-oval to clear Dale Jr. and move up in front of that middle lane. Now 2x2 again.
That's the other frustrating thing, Larry, is you're sitting there like Casey Kane was, and you can't get back in line anywhere, and you need help. Fortunately, he's going to get some here. He's got somebody coming up behind him here to give him a shove. That'll keep him from losing too many spots.
Hamlin having a look at Paul Menard's lead. Menard, veteran short tracker from Wisconsin, who has won the Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis.
No, Hamlin, don't take the lead away from Menard.
And Darrell, before Denny Hamlin passed Paul Menard at 27, he kept going up to the side of him and moving away, getting that side draft and that cushion of
I can relate to you there, Boney Chuck. I'm a Titans fan, so that was us last week. Kind of probably for the better that they lost, so I ain't got nothing to worry about with football. Truex has blown his motor, I think.
Oh boy!
Tough break for the Jersey driver. He will coast
or
around
maybe he's
the pit road.
Probably got a bad tire.
And at the stripe, Hamlin uses the high side and that wide radius to retake the lead, at least for a moment.
What does the B in my name stand for?
Truex said,
that's just my name. I'm Danny B.
Well, it's his backup car, and of course they had to
get something at the bottom or something to feel like.
We saw
it's big. It blew up. That wasn't had no oil pressure straight away.
Yeah, he blew up.
NASCAR has observers around the racetrack atop those Sunoco diamonds on the outside.
Caution's gonna come out here.
And they relayed fluid on the racetrack. So as Truex coasts into the garage, caution waves for the second time. Now let's go back to the first caution flag and the run onto pit road that Larry predicted. Some cars would be going out as others were coming in. Watch the yellow car,
I got some
Matt
beef with them
Kenseth,
Ravens
the red
too.
and white one of
We'll get them
Trevor
next
Bayne.
year.
Was there contact there? Because Kenseth
glad the Bills kind of gave us some payback, but
goes right around.
We'll get him next year.
And then forward into his pit stall.
Boy, he was sure way out on pit road to be that close of to his pit box.
Well, it's a good thing he was, because look, I mean, he just basically spins you right into the box.
We'll explain that in a moment, but first, watch the 9 of Marcus Ambrose and the 10 of Danica Patrick. Patrick coming in on our Fox Super Zoom, Ambrose going out.
Yeah, the problem, Marcus Ambrose in that 9 was running 6, did fuel only. Danica Patrick was running 31st. This is what I was talking about. Ambrose is leaving, and Danica Patrick, you're riding with her here. She's not even made it to her
Daytona's pit road is harder to get in and out of than I thought it was.
It's the first time since we've been down here that all cars are on pit road at one time. We've had the field divided with the unlimited races and the.
I think Claudia might be here
soon.
She just texted me, and we saw her in the chat a few minutes ago, so I'm hoping she gets there soon. I'm getting kind of hungry. I want some Papa John's pizza that we ordered. Got their new stuffed crust pizza. Happy that Papa John's added that to their menu. And remember, you can get Papa John's 25% off. Danny B25. Never forget that.
It was his mistake.
That's what it looked like to me, like he just had too much
Claudia said
braking
she's in the
thing,
car
and when he
now.
got
She'll
on
be
the
here
real
before you
hard,
know
the
it.
thing just spun around. I'm not sure that Trevor Bain in the 21 had anything to do with it.
But that makes a lot more sense that he was still that far out toward the edge of pit road, that close to his pit box. I think since it's only been 5 laps since the restart,
yeah, you might be on something there about super speedways and stage winner MTJ hating each other. He come short in 2016 of winning it, but other than that, he had a good record at these super speedways.
It's right there at the opening. It used to lead to Victory Circle, but that pit stall, thank goodness for him, there was an opening. He was able to spin right into the box.
Marcus Ambrose is the first of the takers on pit road. He might have had a little damage in that bump with Patrick. Krista?
Yeah, right now they hadn't really been talking about
someone
damage.
asked who won his race. Well, we're watching it to see. Claudia be here before I know it. And, again, I don't think she's missed too much of anything really. We had Kyle Larson had issues, and Martin Truex Jr. had issues. That's about it. She's probably going to like this one because she always said that she likes when she watches races and she knows who people are. You know, she's only been watching since 2016, so she appreciates when she watches a race and she knows who most of the field is. So I think she'll be happy to watch this one when she gets here.
Now Kyle Busch, please.
And then we talks, where is Shugs at? Shugs, I'll see if I can show you guys.
Welcome back to the Daytona 500 under caution with 34 laps
right
complete.
over there.
Let's take a closer look at today's race action with Sprint. Kurt Busch has led the most laps. 5 drivers have now led at least 1 lap. Kurt's led 15.
Shugs is very happy right now. And I can't say I blame him. He loves to be sleeping. Or
$25 per month each
little bell toy thing that he likes to play with every now and again. Or
Martin Truex
he likes to eat. He's a pretty big kitty.
On the racetrack when that engine
he's our little shuggy cat. We like him.
Cleanup here in Daytona. There's your leader, Kyle Busch.
Kyle's on left turn, so they just subscribed. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the channel. We got lots of other good content on here, and feel free to look at it all.
Drops on the lens, a few sprinkles, but that has stopped, and we're close to getting back to green flag racing. 36 of 200.
Sounds like the Buccaneers just got a touchdown. Hope it's going good for them. I will say I'm a Titans fan. My favorite NFC team is the Buccaneers. I've liked them well before Brady ever played for them. I've liked the Buccaneers as my NFC team since Mike Alstott. I think he was. I loved his ability to really, we focus on Bowman here.
But repaired his car. He's 20th right now. Allgaier, Annette, Kligerman, and Larson.
There you go, Bowman. Get some screen time there, and a car that everyone wants to forget you ever drove.
In the race.
But yeah, I've always liked the Buccaneers ever since Alstott. So
Martin Truex had
with the
2
Titans
great cars
out,
at Daytona.
I've got to root for the Buccaneers.
Disappointing even to find what you're experiencing right now?
Not really. I mean, it's it's definitely a tough break for the team. The car was super fast today, and I went to bed last night thinking it's probably my best shot ever to win the Daytona 500, and really felt that way even today. The car was just so good, and
your best shot winning the Daytona 500 was actually 2016, but.
Trying to be patient. You got to get to the end of this thing, and unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. It looks like something knocked the oil pump belt off. I don't know if it was
Mike. I wonder who that Kyle Larson guy is.
Typically, that belt comes off. You have about 2 seconds to shut it off before it blows up, and just didn't get enough warning. So definitely a shame. Definitely a tough break for this team. They built a great race car, but. I guess the only good news is
B Black, I see you say love your channel, miss you, Iceberg, and
Thanks,
Eric's
Mark.
Midweek broadcast, massive Kozlowski fan. Really love watching past 500s with other NASCAR fans. We will be back soon. NASCAR Weekly Podcast comes back Wednesday night, January 27th at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central Time. Make sure you tune in. It'll be on the Iceberg's channel, and we've got special guest Mark Martin joining us on the podcast.
500, Kyle Busch, your leader, under caution. Denny Hamlin, Brian Vickers, all in the top 5, and Alex Bowman and Cole Witt in the
Nah, surely, Mitch, not that Bowman guy. He won't be driving for Hendrick.
And now
I mean, okay, maybe Junior's going to retire eventually. I mean, it's not like he's going to drive the 48 when Jimmy Johnson retires or anything.
Welcome back to Daytona, where
crazy.
at 38 laps, the race has been red flagged temporarily due to a rain shower that was not unexpected this afternoon. In our meeting with NASCAR this morning,
I forgot.
said,
It started raining. Let me see if I can skip forward through the rain delays. I don't feel like waiting on rain delays.
But as long as they have a reasonable expectation of completing the entire 200 laps, they'll send the jet dryers, the air.
I think if we go here.
Texted from Nashville. He's already in Nashville, where they test tomorrow.
It never stops.
Someone's in Nashville. Okay, they're still not back to on the
Just
track.
waiting for the command to refire the engines and put cars back on track. You can hear the jet dryers in the background.
Let's see here. Where
and
am I
hats
going to go?
off to all of the safety and track.
Go here. I think maybe this will be.
This is another problem that I think some of these drivers.
So just saved y'all a lot of time. We're not going to sit around for a rain delay. All right, cars are rolling off. We're going to go racing again here soon.
There's just so much humidity and so much condensation.
Wow, they didn't really take them down. Okay, I always wondered, why did this race finish at nighttime? That's why. It was such a long rain delay. I forgot about that.
I'm sure they assume.
So they were only lap 39, so that's why it finished so late. I remember I was watching this race,
it'll clear those windows out.
I think with my dad, and I ended up having to finish it back in my dorm room at the University of Tennessee. So yeah, I remember exactly where I was watching this race.
In that car, but on the super speedways where they like to keep things closed off, will you get enough?
140 degrees will be enough. It gets even. I don't care what the temperature is outside. It's 140 degrees in the race car all the time.
I'm with you. All right, the track sweeping and drying equipment making.
I don't know what you mean by what's up with the back windshield. I'm not sure.
These cars have been parked for 6 hours and 22 minutes. 38
It was that long? Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, it doesn't compare to 2020 by any means, but still.
With the red flag being lifted.
Nothing compares to 2020 Texas, though. I mean, gosh.
You know, we've looked at a number of in-car cameras, and you see the gauge cluster there on the dashboard of this particular car. But some of the drivers, you see all the gauges right here. Some of the drivers, Jimmy Johnson particularly, I noticed, have moved their water pressure and their water temperature gauge up on the dashboard. See where his is? They're up on the dashboard so he can visually.
So whenever Claudia gets here, we're going to tell her she didn't miss anything. Truex and Larson are the only ones out. And I saved her about 6 hours of a rain delay.
Or if those temperatures start to fluctuate,
I think she's going to be good to go.
Know it right away before the crew chief has to call and
probably
say,
coming right when it gets better.
Now let's talk about the lights that you see glaring through the side window. That Musco lighting system is aimed back at the drivers and out at the racetrack such that when they're out there at speed, the direction they are looking, those lights do not come into play. Our camera sees them on the right side of the car. For the drivers, that's not an issue.
No, it didn't.
That's a fun fact. I didn't really know about the lights.
And they don't bother you at all. Matter of fact, the racetrack is much clearer. It's got a much clearer view at night. It's like turning the contrast up on your TV. The lights
Boyer and the 5-inch car.
They bring the surface and the wall.
Getting ready to beat the new Darrell Waltrip on NASCAR on Fox.
40 laps complete this time by. That is 100 of 500 miles.
Folks, I think Claudia has just arrived, so she'll be here shortly.
For the 56th Daytona 500. Kyle Busch leading. His older brother Kurt has led the most laps tonight, 15. Denny Hamlin's been
They're
out
still
front for
pacing
10.
around, trying to get ready to go back to racing.
Kyle for 8,
We're on lap
Coleman
40
for
of
5,
200.
and Austin Dillon. The pole sitter led the first lap. Now, the track dryers continue to work pit road, where the cars were parked and the teams had tarps down to try to keep things somewhat dry, and they're going to need a couple of minutes to get pit road dry enough that NASCAR is confident these cars can come in at pit road speed 55 miles an hour and on these slick tires stop safely in their pit box. So it's like a brand new race, which means it's a great time for tonight's Subway Fresh Take on things.
Let's see. No, I didn't see a chat. I saw. I see this one. I didn't see anything else.
earlier today, he spun on pit road. He was a little concerned going in about having
over
a
here
stall
saying
that was
Drew Brees
midway
is announced
down.
this time. I see your name and I see your profile picture.
They are going to give him more.
We're gonna lose.
Pit stalls.
Might be, I don't know.
Race, but the guy who actually may have the best time here on pit road for the drivers to see it illuminated is that of the 5.
Just keep it clean there. I don't mind if you're in here having a good time.
Down in the 4 pit of Kevin Harvick. That's right, Kevin Harvick now drives the number 4 car for Stewart-Haas Racing. To recap, he has made 2 pit stops. On the very first one, they took a little tape off the grill because he'd been running hot. The only other issue he's been having so far in the race, a little bit loose. They took fuel only on their last stop, and Kevin said that could be a concern. He talked to crew chief Rodney Childers just a few moments ago and said, keep an eye on it. We might need to come in for tires. Steve Burns?
Well, Chris, I saw Jeff Gordon as he walked to his number 24 race car. He was all business, trying to win his 4th Daytona 500. He told the team his only
Kind of a shame
concern
that Jeff
with that
Gordon never
race
won
car
the Daytona 500 like after
was
05.
a little bit tight through 3 and 4, so it'll be interesting to see how
He had a few good
his car
runs
acclimates
later in his
and
career,
Jeff
but
Gordon acclimate to
never
this
got
brand
that
new
one.
racetrack.
Thanks, Steve. That's our Subway fresh take on things as we get ready to resume. We're running again in the Daytona 500. We'll be racing again shortly. Under caution at Daytona after a 6+ hour red flag. You're riding along with Dale Earnhardt Jr. under the yellow. And Kyle Busch.
Kyle, you little antsy there.
Chevy SS pace car for tonight's race. Wanting to get things going. He's not bump drafting.
I want you to go out there and hit the pace car, Kyle.
Close.
More than anything, he's just having fun.
Well,
track looks very good, but pit road still being dried, and this is the grass, the tri-oval
hello.
area, which right now
Nice of
holds
you to
a
join
lot
me.
of standing water, as
And here's
Father
that Papa
T.J.
John's.
Majors told Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Somebody gets in this front stretch grass, man. I hope they got a snorkel.
I know where he can get one. Tiger Tompkins-Stone
In case y'all
back in
didn't
the
notice
day
that,
raced here
Claudia
with the
has
scuba
arrived.
gear in his car because he was afraid he might end up at Lake Lloyd and he couldn't swim. So might want to come in and get that snorkel.
During the early part of the rain
Thank
delay,
you.
Austin Dillon asked if anybody wanted to go and make a slip and slide out there. This is Lake Lloyd. This is on the infield at Daytona along the back straightaway. The water table's very high in this part of Florida, in all of Florida, in fact. And when they dug the dirt to build the bankings in 1958 for this speedway, they ended up with a lake.
It's a nice lake. Got a lot of good
I can't
fishing.
say. When I went to Daytona, I never really saw Lake
Got a few
Lloyd.
good
It's
years
just
in
like
there, too.
way out there where no one can really see it. Yeah, you
We
never
asked
really
you to
get a
show
chance
us how to get ready
go
for
over to it.
race
I
day, so
noticed
let's
now.
take a KFC social
That's a funny
media
thing,
pit
though. I
stop
never really
and get
got a chance to see Lake
How do you
Lloyd.
KFC? In honor of the 3-car coming back, one of our viewers let his son play with his die-cast Dale Earnhardt collectibles. And there's the picture that he sent as they're watching NASCAR on Fox.
I like how back
run
then
into
they would
kids that
do
have
things like this for
little
Twitter. I
bags
feel like they
full
can't
of those
really.
die-cast cars.
I don't know, they
An
can't
entire
trust
starting
some
lineup.
people on Twitter now.
And they know all the drivers and
I
all the
know
cars
things have
and all the
changed a lot
sponsors.
with NASCAR and Twitter to
You know,
where
Mike, one of the
they
things
can't
you
really
asked
trust
Daryl
everything
is
that
the
people send in.
concern, even though airtight jet drivers, they've done
Or
an
all these
unbelievable
accounts
job
that
of
send
driving
us
this
stuff.
racetrack
Yeah.
about right up against the wall. One thing I've been noticing.
All right,
that
what'd I
Brett
miss?
Bodine, the
I know
pace
there
car
was a rain
driver's been
delay.
doing
There
with
was a
the
big
field
rain delay. I
is
saved us
bringing
about
them
6
right
hours
up
of time
against
on
the wall
that.
because the
Appreciate that.
exhaust
Just
goes out
kidding.
the
They
right
did a
side
good
of these
job of
race
trimming us
cars.
down
You
where
get
it didn't
all
have all
that
that, but
heat
they-
from
I was
the
gonna say
43
because I was
cars
like
that
that
are
would be a
out there.
really
It
long
was-
YouTube video.
They'll
It
drive
was
that
daytime
pretty
when
quick.
this started, and
On
it
the
is
right
now
of your screen, driving
nighttime.
the Chevy
Yeah.
SS, Brett Bodine,
that?
a winner, former racer in
Brett
the
Bodine.
Sprint Cup Series. Buster Rock is the NASCAR official who is
gonna
his
say.
passenger.
Yeah, I did
a week
have
ago
the audio
Saturday
on my
night, there was an
car, so I
electrical
did-
fire in the pace car.
when I was
not anything to
driving,
do
I did
with
see
the
that they
Chevy
were on the rain
SS.
delay.
Probably for the best you were
Apparently
done
there
when
was
you
a
were
crimped
because there was like a lot of
wire in
like single
an
file
auxiliary
racing at the
battery
Oh, so
start.
pack
crappy
in
stuff.
the trunk
Yeah.
that was set
And
there to help
you
run the
didn't
caution lights.
didn't really
That
miss
was the cause of
anything.
the
I seen
fire.
Paul
Nothing
Menard
to do
in the
with that
lead.
Chevy.
He did lead for a little bit. Larson
Jet
and
drivers, they
Truex are out.
keep driving.
Okay, I
pit
heard
road. That's
Larson
the
'cause
reason
it-
pit
no,
road is closed.
no,
I
I
would
heard
anticipate once they feel
Truex.
good about pit road
Yeah.
that NASCAR will open the pit road, and we'll probably see several
Because
drivers, especially near
he
the
made the
back of
comment
the
this
pack
is
on pit road, if nothing
like best
else,
shot he
just
had
to
at
top
winning
off
or
the
something.
Sunoco race fuel.
It's like just wait until 2016.
Yeah, 2016
And that's
is going to be
confirmed,
better.
Larry. Pits
What was
will
he
be
running
open
well or something? Why
next
would he
time
make that
I mean,
comment?
with a complete reset, Larry,
Yeah,
I don't
he
know.
started,
If
like, he
it were
qualified on
me,
the front row, I
I'd
think.
want
Oh,
to come
okay.
down pit
Like I
road
said,
and
I
get
didn't
myself
see
all
any
squared away
the
here. Fill a
beginning.
fuel,
I just
four
saw
tires, and get ready to go
when I had made that
racing.
comment that.
Yeah,
Defending
he had a
500
fast car,
champ Jimmy
all three
Johnson.
speed wakes, and
They had this to say about pit
unfortunately
road.
didn't work out.
That
For
sucks.
pit road, about a lane outside of the pit boxes.
Look at that IndyCar driver.
But beyond that,
I think this is the most recent
for that.
one we watched, correct?
Track drying
Watch
equipment
along?
working toward the pit boxes
I think so. This
themselves.
first one on Gen
And there you
6.
see, still a little bit shiny along the pit lane.
Even with
You shouldn't ask me that.
157 laps to go,
21st
Jimmy
lap. I think it's the first
Johnson
one
at
where we
48 car, you
watched
can see
Gen
him
6
shutting
car.
the
Usually,
engine
I
on,
love the car
trying to
tomorrow
save
look,
fuel.
so I
Any
probably,
point in this
I know
race.
because we've been kind of stuck in that era a
Two
little bit.
laps to go at the line, Daryl.
It's just a good habit to get into. You know, if you don't want to just all of a sudden
This is what
decide you want to do
2001
something like that, you want to cut it
We're
off,
watching
try and make
All-Star
sure
Racing like the
make sure you got
90s.
your timing down right. But it's not as
We
simple
watched
as it
last
looks. I
week,
know it looks like you just turn it off, turn it on, but it really isn't that simple.
7.
Danica
Daytona.
Patrick, last year's pole sitter.
And
A lot of
okay, I don't
questions
remember
to us on social media.
I made a
Usually
comment.
if there's rain the night
This is gonna be
before
first
a
one where
race
you
or the
really
day
know most
before,
of the entire
after
field.
practice,
I was going to say, it's
NASCAR
funny
will
just
have a
seeing
competition
drivers,
caution
not
to let
recognize,
teams
like,
come in and make
a
adjustments
lot.
and change tires. Will
You
that
know?
happen tonight?
Like,
The answer
even
is
Bowman,
no.
this is his first
No
500.
competition
Yeah, I
caution.
had seen
We're
you had
going
made a
racing.
comment. What was he
Pit road
doing?
is
Because I'd
open.
seen they
Here comes
highlighted
the pole
Bowman.
sitter
Where, like, had him on the
and
screen. I was in
Looks
highlights.
like
Oddly
about
enough, he's
half
in
the
17th
field
in front of
drivers
Dale
hit
Earnhardt
pit
Jr.
road.
right
A
now.
lot of them about midway.
No, they were just showing like
Austin
He's a
Dillon
nobody
is
at
in.
this point,
Kurt
right?
Busch,
Yeah.
Trevor Bayne. Topping
tamed
off
it.
with fuel, most of these
Best
cars.
didn't stay with.
Tires for A.J. Allmendinger and for Kevin Harvick, among others. David Reagan gets tires.
Even with that few of drivers
I'm
on
sorry
pit
for
road,
y'all
it
having to
was
listen to us
still,
eat,
they were
but
all
we
over
are
the place
hungry now
down there.
at this point.
Drivers coming in,
I'm
drivers
sure
trying
you're
to get out
hungry.
of
You
their
gotta wait
box.
for me.
Yeah, but you know what, Larry? It's such a great time. You've had time with your crew chief here before we go back to green. Maybe this is a great time to come in and make a few minor adjustments. Tony Stewart, 4 tires.
Service pretty much complete.
Is that the
These
Papa
cars will
John's
pick up
stuffed
the
crust?
tail end of
Yes,
the
it
field.
is.
Yes, it is. So
And
I'm
Jamie
waiting till the
McMurray
pizza is out.
looking at a little damage
Gonna
on the
give y'all
right front
the Danny
fender
B review on stuffed
of his
crust.
car. Very important aerodynamically.
We've never
At
had it, but I've seen
195
it was a
miles an hour.
special for, I think, $12 for one topping.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying it out tonight.
Is that the jalapeno
Now,
poppers?
during this lengthy caution and
I'll
red
be back.
flag, Kyle Larson,
Can you
who had
bring
hit
me
the
one
wall
time?
earlier and lost
Thank you.
2 laps, making his pit stop, received the free pass. Greg Biffle got
But
the
yeah,
free pass on the
they need to
first
be
caution.
25.
That
Take
goes to the
25%
first
off.
driver not
All
on the
Papa
lead
John's
lap
regular
when a
menu price
caution flag
orders
waves.
now for December
And that will
31st,
put
2021.
everyone on track
And
on the
Daytona
lead
500 coming
lap.
up.
The
You're gonna want
only
you some
car
snacks to
out
watch
of the
that.
race, Martin
Or even
Truex,
for the Super Bowl,
with engine failure.
use that
Like it
coupon.
looks like about the top 22 drivers stayed out, so about half the field.
No, they got a deal on the stuffed crust, so. But
Sorry.
Well,
But think of it like this, we still save money because we got jalapeno
Oh,
poppers and we got Sierra Mist, we got extra garlic cups.
Many scurry
We save money on that,
grandstands were
so
clear
it comes in handy.
with the threat of lightning and severe
That
weather.
jalapeno was hitting me.
Went to their cars,
Really?
went to nearby restaurants,
It's hot.
sought shelter. They're back. They've waited all winter for this.
And Mike, people say, you know, why didn't they call the thing? Why did they stay around on it? Why did they do what? Look, the grandstand's full.
That's pretty good.
That's why they didn't call the thing. The people were waiting for them to get
They
the
got
track
good amount of
drive so
cheese
we
in
can go
there.
back racing. That's NASCAR's commitment to these race fans. We'll get this race in when we're supposed to, if it's at all possible.
There's Michael Waltrip.
Michael Waltrip topping off the tank.
Is that still the same team that Tim Hill races for? Or is that a different team?
That's a different thing.
Back when they had the
He makes a leisurely exit from pit
name
road as
banners
we're
on the
under
front.
caution. He'll catch up the tail end of the
Well,
field.
they're back to
and
that.
we're anticipating going green.
Yeah, in case
next
y'all
time
didn't
up.
know.
Just not a whole lot of urgency right here.
2021,
this
no
time
more
with Michael.
Cup
He's in
Series
the
logo
back.
on the front. They're back to the
I think
names
he's
on
got
the
a
front.
game
Okay,
plan.
question.
He's going to get back out there
Do
to
you
some
like
cars he can run with. So
the
no
Cup Series
urgency at this
banner,
time.
like, or the /Series banner, or do you
Kyle
like the
Larson's
name?
car is still under repair in the pit lane.
I like the name,
And they'll
but I don't
need
like
to
what they're
get
doing
going
this year, where they literally
to
have the
keep
name on
with
front
the
and the
field on
back.
this
That looks
restart.
silly. I don't like it on the front. I like the
Kyle
Cup
Busch,
Series
Toyota, Casey
logo.
Kane, Chevrolet, Denny Hamlin, Toyota are your top three.
Casey Kane at 5. He's been fast, but he's somewhat been
3 of
under
those
the
numbers
radar the
are still
entire
here.
week here.
2 of those
He
guys
really
are
wants
still
to
in
have
that
a
car.
good run, a good finish. Didn't even get a top 30 finish last year.
I feel like 2014 wasn't that long ago, and then I realized what year it is. I'm like, oh gosh.
Think about what's different.
All right, what this is like what?
Well, everybody in the garage all week have been talking about the Gibbs Toyotas. And
7 years
they were
ago
the teams
this year?
to beat. Those were the cars to
Oh
beat.
my gosh.
And right now,
Yeah,
they're
because
living
in
up to
2020
their
would have been
reputation.
6, so this has been 7.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I
Best sight
graduated
in
high
Daytona
school in
right now is
2014.
There's not a blinking
Yeah, that's
yellow
what I'm watching.
light
I was trying
in
to make sure I
sight.
was talking right.
Not on the safety equipment, not atop the pace
And I don't
car.
feel like that long
That
ago,
means
but then I
we're
realized,
going green.
well, crap.
The Daytona 500 resumes.
Like, I feel like the
Under green as they
2010s,
come
like
to
I
the
can remember a
line
lot
on
of
dry
things. That
racetrack
sounds weird to say
after a
2010.
6-hour rain delay.
You know?
Kyle Busch approaches the restart
But,
zone.
you know, I feel like that wasn't that long ago when I think about stuff.
Green flag.
Yeah, let's go racing.
Think about what else they were pointing out in 2014. Getting big gatherings like that. No COVID.
His teammate Kyle Busch in the yellow car.
Barack Obama was president. I don't even think anyone knew Donald Trump was running for president.
Yeah, well, let's just ride along, take it easy for a little while. What do you say, Larry?
And they were showing something on Twitter, like Twitter was nowhere near as popular back then.
No.
Neither was YouTube. Well, it was gaining popularity, but it still wasn't where it is now.
Listen to this. Scott McDonald said, my first race to watch was the 2001 Daytona 500.
making it 3 wide in the back of the
What
middle of the
a race to watch.
And on a green racetrack, scrubbed clean of
And Noah said he
rubber by the
graduated in
rain.
2014.
They're finding out now at 195 miles an hour
graduated
how
in
these cars
2013.
handle differently
Cumberland
than they
Gap
did this
High School.
afternoon.
That's exactly what I expected. The
Nobody
track
knows
is,
where
I
that's
mean, you
at.
can run anywhere you want to right now. Your tires are
Walk
good.
the
The
season.
track
I
is
know where it's
cold.
at.
It's got a lot of grip, and you feel very confident.
Yeah,
Man,
watch
you're
this
gonna
probably your
see
mom
some
and dad- or
racing.
mom or
I
dad
tell
that
you, you're gonna
comments.
see them get it on right now.
It's cooled off, and you said the engines will make more power. The cars will handle better. Will the drivers be braver?
Well, we've got 314 people watching with us, so appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight.
Brad Keselowski, the
Lake bet,
2012
Lake bet.
Series champion in that white number 2 Ford.
I want to try
Governor
these,
Roger Penske celebrated a
jalapeno
birthday this week. Keselowski would
ranch?
like to give him that Harley Earl trophy for the second time as a president.
Man, one of the hardest things, and it makes me so nervous, is when they come through here 3 wide, through this travel, low banking, 18 degrees, running 200 mile an hour through here side by side. That's a handful.
Casey Kane in that 5, getting a little bit of help from Paul Menard in the 27. Seems like right
Michael
now he's
Costa, the first
making
race
that
I remember
bottom
watching
groove
was 2003 Darlington.
2003, I know what you were about to say.
Sorry, I was going to say 2014.
We have ourselves a wad.
Yes, we do.
Both of those Darlington
Toyotas
races
at
were
the
good,
top lane, 2
especially
Chevrolets
the
on
one
the
with Kurt
bottom.
Busch and Ricky
Oh,
Craven.
was that
Fighting for the
that
lead in the
year,
Daytona
2003?
500 back
Oh,
under
wow,
green.
that'd been a good one.
Completing
Ricky
50
Craven
laps,
won the
125
famous one,
miles this time by.
Terry Labonte won the other one.
Casey Mears in that 13 car, he had quite a little line assembled at the top. Brian Vickers in the 55 shut the door on them as they were coming through turn 4.
The margin of error when you're running 3 wide like this is so small. If somebody moves over a little bit or wiggles a little bit,
I love
that's
knowing
when you have a
that
problem.
Denny Hamlin won't win
And
this
the degree
race.
of difficulty, it's as
I
high
know
as it's
that.
going to get right now.
Here's 1-3.
And you know when the first one was. You know when the other 2 were.
Looking
Because
at
I watched his
Keselowski in the
last
middle.
two, and the
And that's
other
where
one
Kyle
was
Busch is right now
20.
because Casey Kane, down to the bottom, with the
15?
27 of Paul Menard, is gunning for the lead.
Well, here comes
Oh yeah,
Keselowski
because
in the
I
2
started
right
watching
behind
like
Kyle
midway
Busch
through
in the
2016,
18.
so I didn't see that.
They're going to try to make that
Jalapeno
middle
popper
work.
is
There's
kind
Denny
of
Hamlin,
spicy.
Kyle's
Like that's what I
teammate.
said. I had felt like I got them
That
in
is
the past.
3
And
wide,
they're
6
hot, obviously, because
rows
they're
deep.
jalapeno, but
At
made my
195
nose run a
miles
little
an
bit.
hour.
I was like, wow.
Folks, I hope you stayed up and you're ready for some exciting
I promise I can
action
handle
here in
spicy
Daytona,
foods. I mean,
because
we're
we
from
have got
Nashville.
it.
We have a Nashville hot chicken.
We have 25 drivers running in less than a second of each other right there in that pack coming at you.
We just couldn't do this earlier today. The track didn't have a grip in it. The track was slick. The cars were sliding around. The guys knew they had to be careful. Now they've got all the grip they need. They can do anything they want to with this race car.
Some drivers have chosen to hang out at the back of the pack, and the tension that's evident up here near the front shows you why.
Okay, what would your driving style be?
Well, the
Would
spotters
you,
are-
at
you know,
a
the
super
drivers are
speedway, would
busy,
you
but the spotters
ride
are
the back,
busy
try to
also.
avoid the big ones,
They're trying to
race up
talk
front
their
because
guy
you don't
through
want to
this
have to make up
mess.
for
And,
lost time?
They've got to be
I
on
love
their games. They
when
gotta
I'm
be
in any
eyes and
game I
ears
play,
watching what's going on.
iRacing, NASCAR heat, old NASCAR games. I love running about second place because I love being right where I can see the leader, but not be at threat of someone taking the win.
And what I
from
love
me.
about my driver buddies, they make this look so easy.
And you're in front of most
We're
of the
three
pack,
wide,
so
195, 200 mile an hour. Yeah, nothing to it.
Possibility of
Folks,
somebody else,
these guys
you
right
getting
now
caught up
are
in somebody
about as
else's
tight
stuff
as you're
is
gonna
slow.
get.
I'd rather be able to make the
2x2.
move than have the
Two
move made
Toyotas
on
on
me.
the outside, two Chevys on the bottom. It's just like Noah's Ark, except Brad Keselowski in that white Ford number 2 right in the middle.
Yeah, Noah would have gotten there a little quicker if he'd been one
Wow,
of these
what are we,
arcs, I
like
might
4
say.
weeks to Daytona now?
Yeah.
Wow, there you go.
It's like it's the first time all week long we're not seeing.
Is
as
there
many
this
happening
many
anymore.
exciting
It goes all
Daytona
the way from the
500s
top to the
because we
bottom
can
of
keep
the
this going?
racetrack.
What a move.
Oh, yeah, there's lots of
Elevator
great
drop.
Daytona 500s.
Hamlin down to the bottom, sweeps up high, picks up Kyle
We're
Busch
not watching
again. He was trying to
2013 though.
break the
Why?
draft of those other two lanes.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to break out of the bubble.
They literally went
that
single
big
file
bubble
almost
of
the
air.
whole race.
He's trying
That's
to
weird.
bust out of there, and he can get his teammate Kyle Busch to
I'd
push
be
him. He might be
interested
able to get out of there and get out
in
in front.
watching
But Daryl, you said it before we went back racing. This racetrack,
maybe one of the ones that
Noah Coleman says
That's what
28
allowed
days
him to make
Oh,
that
well, there you
move
go.
out there.
They are happy with their cars right now. I'm sure that they're just talking about,
trying to think.
you know, where am I,
20
who am I running with, and what's going on the
18.
racetrack. Not even talking about handling
Austin
it.
Dillon one.
How about that silver car?
Yes.
Number 32, Terry Labonte.
I remember
two-time
watching that. That
Sprint
seemed
Cup
exciting when I watched it. I mean, obviously I haven't watched it
had
since
said
then.
after
That one
Thursday's
or
qualifying race, this will be
honestly,
his
it'd be
final
interesting to
Daytona
watch.
500.
I mean,
He is
not
tied
necessarily
with
to watch
Richard
a lot,
Petty
but
for second
for
on
my
the
own
all-time
knowledge
list with
or whatnot.
32 starts.
20
Dave Marcus has been in 33
I always try to think of it.
500.
Well, he just
2017.
motored by one of his
Because
former
that one
teammates there,
won.
Jeff Gordon.
And I'm still trying to figure out what.
That one actually has a more bizarre finish
They're
than
giving
I
that old
think a lot of
32
people
car.
really
See,
talk about.
actually, I'd rather watch that one because I really don't remember that race at all. I mean, I remember Kurt Busch winning. Anything about the race, I'm still trying to figure out if I really like NASCAR. Like, we had been to one Cup race before, so I'm still trying to figure it out, you know.
Seems like a long time ago we said, as Kevin Harvick, who you're riding with, has just laid down the fastest lap of the race.
But now I'm
At the
definitely
top
love
of the day,
NASCAR. It's like, let's go to
43
all
drivers
of them.
woke up this morning in Daytona Beach
You wanna go to
with
Daytona?
the same thought.
Yeah, okay.
I can win the Daytona 500. Terry Labonte among them.
That's what I'm
Riding in the top 10 at
about.
54
Yeah,
laps.
you keep asking me
As
what
you
I
ride
want. I
Kevin
told you
Harvick.
what I want.
Well, they basically already. I was telling them we know some people who don't get to go.
I think our
because
guys,
they
you know, I
said
think
their
our guys
tickets
are pretty good at
Oh,
prognosticating
yeah.
about who's going to be good.
That
Because we know
Booted,
the
that's
11, the 18
crap.
are good, the Gibbs cars. Michael kept talking about the Keselowski in the 2 car.
Right.
He had run
Okay.
with him a little bit. Michael thought he had a really fast
I think what
car.
made it worse for our
These
friend
guys are all
who said
running
that
in front,
they didn't get to
along with
go
Brian Vickers in that
was the fact that they
55.
bought their ticket back June
Yeah, I think all
28th
three
of
of those
last
drivers
year.
in the
Like
bottom
almost
line, they have
right as soon as
had
they
fast
announced
race
we
cars
could buy
all
them.
week
It was
long.
before
You talked
the
about
All-Star
Brad
race.
Keselowski in the 2, Jeff Gordon in the 24, Joey Logano in the
Because she was
22.
telling me that,
Just this man right
or
here,
she had
Denny
mentioned,
Hamlin,
like, we were in a
with
group or
what he's
whatnot.
done this week,
Hey,
he's overshadowed
we're,
all
you know,
these
I'm going to
other guys.
Daytona, and the guy was like, she was talking to him, you know, in our group, was like,
Labonte.
oh, like next
He's got
month,
something
like
going
thinking
on
about
there. She's just
the
trying to get out
you
of
know,
there.
The night race,
the
yeah.
night race, the summer race,
Up
cut off
front,
to
Kyle
the
Busch.
playoffs, and she's like, oh no,
Casey
next
Kane.
year. He was like,
In
oh, the
Toyotas,
500.
the
I didn't even
Ford,
know they were selling
Brad
tickets at that point,
Brian
like
Vickers,
so far in
Jeff
advance. Like
Gordon,
she knew she was going when we were,
Joey Logano.
and you know, talking right around the All-Star race. And I was like, what? But I think maybe because she was in it by herself. I seen something.
Lane he was leading, and he's
I guess
finally
we,
brought
they just
his
had some
bottom
bad
group
connection on
right to
it.
the front of the
I guess so.
Now that number 2 car,
That was him that
thing is going
threw me off.
got some speed.
Okay,
He's
but-
right there with the.
But she was saying she had bought
He's shown
tickets
that
like
all
back in
week,
June.
so Keselowski
That's more
hang,
story.
hang tough
But
on that inside. Here
I
comes
think
Paul
I
Menard
seen
down
somewhere
on the
online it
inside
said
in
like
the
they
27 car.
prioritize
He's got
based
a lot
on
going.
And he's got a
like
lot of drivers
your ticket
he's bringing with
history
him. He's
and
got the
If you were
four
in
up
a
there to
group.
Jeff Gordon.
I think so. So there was a couple variations, and she has never been to Daytona at all.
So
So that probably was another thing that did not go in her favor.
Because normally the
So.
cars want to wash up a little bit.
But
that thing stuck right on that
She
yellow
ended up finding a
line.
way that she can do some something, but it's not sitting in the grandstands.
So, all in all, she gets to go,
doing this.
which
You
is
gotta
awesome.
stay on guard. You
We got to go, and I
down
highly
here
recommend it
because,
to anybody else who
even
has
though
the
cars feel
opportunity
good, it's
to go.
going good, and
If you
everybody's
are
racing
gonna plan
good.
it,
You can't let your guard
go ahead and
down.
plan
You
to be
gotta
there
stay
on
the
Monday just in
offense.
case.
That's how it goes.
The first 25
NASCAR
cars
world.
are covered by 1 second. That's the
Or
gap
if you're
from
planning
first
to
to 25th.
go to Texas to show up back again, what, Wednesday?
Kyle Busch holds the lead. Good thing nobody said, let's just ride a while. We're under green in the Daytona 500 on Fox.
Is it football platoon?
Fox Sports Platoon.
No, it's football.
It's not football. It's not football. It's NASCAR too.
Cool track, clean asphalt, and a new leader, Brad Keselowski. 2012 Sprint Cup champion for Roger Penske. Out in front, he won the title in a Dodge. Penske switches to Ford. Keselowski has the fastest one of those in Daytona right now.
That would be a question for you.
I'd recommend 2008 night race at June.
At June?
Yeah, at June Speedway. The 2008 night race at Nashville. 2009 night race at Nashville. Mainly for just what happened at the end.
Boogity, 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 amen.
That was 2011 sprint
Kevin
race
Harvick up the inside for 7th place right now. New team for Harvick. He joins Stewart Labs
and
Racing.
what was the year?
Car number changes to 4. This is the
maybe.
Team that
whatever
Ryan
year it
Newman had
was,
last year
where they had a crazy finish at the end.
New driver, sponsor, and car number.
Sort of.
Walter
with the new crew chief. Rodney Childers. Great crew chief.
Our pole sitter, Austin Dillon, led the first lap. And now he's settled back in the second pack. He's in 38th place.
Wow, what a drop.
This race first.
He started on the pole and now he's in 38.
Wow.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Hey, you know what you got there, so just whatever you think here. Yeah, you're doing fine right there. Everything's good.
Austin Dillon riding
Scott, appreciate
in
$5.
38. He's back there with Clint Boyer, Ryan Newman,
anytime
and
I go
Michael
to a
Waltrip,
NASCAR race, I always
and
plan on
The way these engines operate, Mike, and
Go for my
everything
favorite
is,
for the Michigan
if you
June
just
race.
barely squeeze out the
Well,
throttle,
that's great.
you lose a lot of momentum. And you think, hey, I
We were lucky and got to be able to work some things out where we could stay for Daytona last year on Monday.
And draft with them.
I hated that it was so late on
Paul
Monday.
Menard in that 27
It was like 4 p.m. last year, right?
Jumped to the top.
Sorry, excuse me.
And Paul Menard, with the help of Joey Logano in the 22, Kevin Harvick in the 4, he's up there.
We wanted to stay in,
This
so
is
we
a
figured out how
backup car because Paul was
to
involved
get the people,
in that crash
the other
in practice
YouTubers
on
back to where
Wednesday.
they need to
Watch
go
out here, Larry. We're
because
getting
we
ready to
took
come
them
up
all the
on the
way.
lap car.
Because we drove down
Kyle
there
Larson
from here.
There's Larson.
See where they catch him at.
But I'm glad we stayed. You know, definitely with everything that happened and didn't know obviously what was to come later in the year. So it was nice to be able to be in something big like that again. You know, or like
I'm glad we made it work out.
But
came out of the pit late on that.
But yeah, I kind of hated it was so late because I had to work. I had to miss work on Tuesday as well because we had to drive back on Tuesday. Versus if it was
so much that even Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in
if it was earlier Monday, maybe we didn't have.
at
I
the
didn't have
tail
to
end of
miss
this
as much
line,
on
3
Hey,
seconds back,
NASCAR
is
48,
still
appreciate
getting
you
the
becoming
benefit
a
of the
member of the
lead
channel.
draft, along with
Appreciate that very much.
Carl Edwards, Michael Waltrip,
Welcome to Danny B.
Austin Dillon, and
Superfans.
Clint Boyer.
Yeah, all the guys, we saw it in the other races here
I'm
this
a Danny
week.
B. Superfan. I need a
get
little
back, and
badge.
if you get a couple of good cars together,
You got
they
the
can
best
actually
one,
chase
on
this
your,
lead
finger.
group down or any
wait, I don't
time
have
the
it on
lead
right
group
now.
breaks away. So you're not out of this thing,
Whoopsie.
even though you're running back here in the back.
Daryl, you get a championship point if you lead one or more laps. There's a little money, a bonus money for leading
plan on
laps
going to
in the
WrestleMania this year in
500.
Tampa?
But otherwise, if you're
I don't know
in
if
that
I can find a way to
path,
see if I get a ticket.
you're
I might
building
think
your
about it.
playbook.
I was supposed to go. Me and her were supposed to go last year.
You when push comes to
But
shove at the
that's
end
when
of
this
it.
whole rush show Papa John started. Actually,
Yeah, it really did because
Who's going to be my
they
buddy?
did not do an
Look at
in-person thing.
Keselowski and Kyle
yeah,
Busch
so
right there.
Papa John's found my
I think
channel.
right now they're saying,
Like
hey
what I
man,
was
we're working
doing.
pretty good together. We're
Inside
making good
apartment.
lap times. How about let's talk about what we're going to do at the end of the day? So you start making deals. You tell the spotter, hey, tell that 18, let's work together, or whomever it may be. So right now you're just strategizing a little bit, getting things set up for the last little bit.
Well, I know one thing a lot of these drivers at the front will be setting up for here shortly will be green flag pit stops. We do have the variable of the number of cautions we ran under that red flag. But when I look at our top 6 or 8, other than Kevin Harvick in the 4, probably 6 to 8 laps away from what will be the first set of green flag pit stops.
You know, Larry, it's just amazing to me how these guys just look at Brian Vickers. I mean, Vickers in a backup car is running 7th. And there's Casey Mears in the 13 car running 9th. Trevor Bayne in a 21 car running 11th.
I mean, we're going to be here in a couple weeks. We're going to be looking at that 5 car and be like, oh,
there's some good.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, 5 car.
Come down here.
In the new movie Need for Speed, Aaron Paul plays a street racer.
I'm happy that
joins a
he's going to get
cross-country race with revenge on his mind. So with that in mind, we'll let the cars do the talking and give you NASCAR on Fox. Crank it up.
I like when they do that.
Yeah.
Did Smithfield do that, like, car, like, glue because Richard Petty's, like, iconic glue?
Yeah.
Or is that, like, what they wanted to do?
No, it was mostly the Petty thing. Really, Smithfield, I don't think they have necessarily a branded color or anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of their packaging. It's mainly just, like, black and kind of...
But really, I think what they have now
white or neutral color, yeah.
But I think they just, with RPM, they just wanted to keep the color there.
Right.
Need for Speed in theaters everywhere, March 14th. 70 laps complete.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize I looked down, everyone's like, nice. I'm like, what? Oh, we were on 69.
Oh, my gosh.
I think we're at max speed.
Yes, sir.
I think we're seeing max speed right now.
Of all the things that NASCAR on Fox does, one of their best things is crank it up.
Yeah, he and
just
his teammate,
when they make the
Brad
commentators
Keselowski running
just
nose
be
to
quiet.
tail. The only report from Joey Logano
they're okay with that. Just
is his
not
car
talking
is
for a
just a
second.
little snug going into turn 1, Matt Yoakum.
I think this is
Denny Hamlin currently in the 7th position now. When we went back to green, there was an intermittent problem with Denny's radio. It was scratchy, it was difficult to hear, and he could only hear them part of the time. He went to the backup radio. He could hear fine, but then it began to get faint. Now it's a problem, and they're looking at ways of possibly changing out one of the wires on a stop.
That's one of the things that happens when you put these cars under the car cover when it's been raining. A lot of moisture. We saw it on the windows in the cars. When
you crazy hooligans on the YouTube apps.
It can mess with the radios. It can mess with a lot of the wiring harnesses. I've seen that happen many times.
Happens to my MGs when I park them outside. I don't even need a car cover. Lucas Electrics. All right. Up front, Paul Menard battling.
It's so interesting, like,
Logano
with super speedways, you can be running up front all day, but it really doesn't matter until, like, the last lap or last turn. You know what I mean? Like, you can, somebody can win, theoretically, that's, like, back in 20th right now, because there's so much of the race left. It's, these kind of races are trying to avoid the big one,
And Jeff Gordon's going to take 4 tires.
It's like survival of the fittest, I feel
Remember,
like.
he said his car was just a little bit tight, but that was hours ago. It doesn't look like any chassis adjustments on the 24, just 4 tires and fuel. He does get a windshield tear off.
I just don't think he was happy with his car. He kind of got caught in the middle there. He kind of fell back. I thought he felt like it was a good time to come on pit road without anybody else being there, with nobody in his way. I think it's a good move.
And Darrell, he had radioed he was not happy with the driving of the driver immediately behind him. That may be why he peeled off 1 lap before this group.
It would be a nice like finish story for this year's 500.
And Mike, similar to Jeff Gordon, Paul Menard, one of those drivers who hadn't pitted since back on lap 24. He needs a little bit of an adjustment. He's just a little too tight. They're going to go back on the track bar. You see the gas man working there in the 27.
Honestly, yeah, I don't see how he goes 2 more years. Jimmy just retired and they started the same year. Which I don't see how Kurt Busch goes much longer. Kurt has been racing since the 90s.
Yeah. We get closer to halfway.
You know what? As long as you're enjoying it.
As long as we're doing good.
Going from 200 miles per hour to 55
I'm not saying
miles per
Harvick's
hour,
been cut since 01, and he's at the peak of his career still.
He's on pit road.
Casey Kane has spun, trying to exit pit road, where it's still a bit damp. Now the field has gone by, so the track is safe to stay green as Kane grabs a gear. and pulls away.
It's got to be from the moisture down low there on the racetrack. He had to get into some of that. And I remember he had 4 brand new tires. They don't have a lot of grip when you first take off with them.
Matt?
What's on his car? I can't really see it.
Next time by, meanwhile, you see the change.
I kept looking at it. I'm like, what am I looking at?
Yeah, it's hard to tell because it's too much yellow. If they were going to do... It's weird. The packaging for peanut M&M's is yellow.
Right. That's considered removed.
But I feel like they should have done a different base for that.
He'll have to come back to pit road under green.
Yeah, I mean, peanuts are, a light brown, so it probably just didn't go over.
Green flag stops continue with Denny Hamlin's Toyota and Jamie McMurray's Chevrolet.
Seeing Denny Hamlin's...
in the duels, we saw a lot of mistakes on pit stops. And there's
but I feel like it's time for a change. I feel like it's been the same for a little bit.
Jamie McMurray right now, he had come back in for 4 tires on a previous stop. Jamie talking about how slick the track is, Matt.
A slight chassis adjustment. Denny
Hamlin,
also a bigger adjustment.
Hopefully the team will I've been watching NASCAR since 2006. We need more self-destructive NASCAR drivers.
If you get a car to change out that wire so you can hear better.
Good. You don't
They have to be on the inside to come to pit road. No takers this time by. As we stay green at 75
That's not a good
laps.
thing.
What does that mean?
Like,
I'll show you what happened to Casey Kane here as he came in for his scheduled stop. Going out of the pits, just right there at the apron,
yes,
at the X of the pit road.
MVR Honor said, Danny Talks, did you ever tell Claudia about you getting up in the middle of the night to help your sick cat?
Aww.
Yes, I did. I woke up and heard Shug's about to throw up, so I was like, no, on the carpet. It's already too late. But
it is a pass-through penalty, which means as the field rockets past to 200 miles an hour.
Well, thankfully it wasn't on our rug. We have a rug in our living room that's pretty wide.
He gets come so close
Here are
to
the
throwing
Penske Fords.
But our carpet's like a light tan, brownish color. So
yeah.
Trying to beat
I
each
wasn't
other
too
to the
upset
entrance of
about
pit
that.
lane.
They're racing on. They're racing into the pits.
Steve?
Brad Keselowski's comment moments ago was that his car was just a little bit on the free side. Remember, Joey Logano said just the opposite. His car was a little bit tight. Right side tires going on for Brad Keselowski. No other adjustments. Oh, there it is, a chassis adjustment on the 2 car, and they will take 4 tires. Meanwhile, Joey Logano's team also
did anybody
changing
retire
4
in
tires
2014,
further up
like a
pit
notable
road.
person?
There are still 11 cars on the track, Larry, that haven't been to pit road since the red flag.
Okay.
And
I think it was
Trevor
2015
Bain,
when
the
Gordon
surprise
retired.
winner of the Daytona 500 a couple of years ago.
We went Gordon.
Out in front of Eric Almirola driving
Junior,
for Richard Petty. That number 43 has been to victory lane here. 7 times.
Pretty much
19,
a rule of thumb, and Larry knows
same
this. If
thing.
you're going to take 2 cans of fuel, you might as well
And then
take
20
4
was
tires.
Jimmy.
You're going to be in the pits that long. So, and I don't know, Kyle doesn't need to mess around here. Kyle Busch in the 18. He needs to get on pit road because he's going to get the black flag if he doesn't.
Well, I think he's already received the black flag, but he'll get the black flag with the white cross, which means you're no longer being scored.
Ooh, that's that real ugly black flag.
Richard Petty won the Daytona 500 7 times. His number, 43. He is still the principal of this race team for Marcus Ambrose and Eric Almirola, whose car carries Petty Blue. And the number 43 for Smithfield as you're watching the ham cam on the Tampa, Florida driver as he leads the Daytona 500.
That's what it always just kind of makes me chuckle sometimes. And I think, man, it took me 17 years to win the 500. It took Dale 20. Some guys have never won. Some guys only won it once. Yeah, but
You're right. I forgot Bernard retired in 2019. So that was a big one we lost.
No, look who has joined Mr. Eric Almirola up there at the front. We're looking at him right now.
I forgot.
6 times. Jimmy Johnson in up
I
front.
know. How could I forget?
Yeah, he got his mirror adjusted, man. He's happy now.
Now they were last on pit road before the red flag, and here they come.
Whoa,
Almirola,
buddy.
Petty, there's
Whoa,
about
buddy.
10 of them. All trying to get on pit road at the same time. Almirola, Petty, Kenseth, and more, Krista.
Wow, that
Why
got
is Bowman
hairy,
my
and that's why
favorite
Chad
driver?
Knaus, the
I
crew
guess
chief
they're
for
rooting
this
for him after
48
Junior
car,
retired.
told his driver Jimmy Johnson pit tight to the bottom. He
But I
knew
feel like
it
he
was
had
going to be
earned
squirrely on the
his,
pit road
ride,
entrance,
and I
Matt.
really
And they reminded Matt Kenseth about his brakes if he had too much rear brake.
No, real reason is he
Pit
wanted to
road,
pick
4
Chase Elliott, and I
tires,
said, no, you
stop
can't pick him.
just
That's
like
my
on the
guy.
previous stop, 32, Steve.
No, I think I'm pretty
Matt
happy for
Kurt Busch
that.
saying his car
Well, I know,
is a
but you
little
did
bit
say
on
it.
It was like
the
early
outside. They're just
2017 I was
gonna
thinking that, though.
left side tires. Meanwhile,
But you didn't.
Almirola in the 43.
Well, I guess they didn't announce that who was replacing because I think it was right after Bristol. Me and you went to Bristol Spring that year, and it was like the Monday after or the day after or whatever the race. And I remember being in my dorm room and seeing that alert come up on my phone from NASCAR. I'm like, whoop. Danny B ain't gonna be too happy.
Want to take another look?
This is one of those hey watch this moments. I can tell you.
You were not Danny B.
This is the biggest
Daniel
group of
was not
drivers
with
we
that.
had making green flag pit stops. It all started up at the front of the pack with Eric Almirola, almost bringing that entire inside line with him.
Yeah, but watch this. I mean, the tires start smoking. The 21 gets into the back. I believe he got into the back of the 41 car. Got a little bit of damage right there. Kurt Busch's car. The 21 got some
Appreciate you sending
fender
it,
damage.
MVR. No, it's not wrong at all if you want to say I'm a photographer.
Leader. Last year's pole sitter for the Daytona 500 in green and orange, Danica Patrick.
And obviously she's in the middle of the pack of these drivers.
Danica's first?
All those drivers in front of her, they have made a
currently
green
first.
flag pit
She's in the
stop.
middle of everybody. They always all be a lap
And a
down.
tough break for Almirola.
Okay,
He
well,
dragged
sorry.
equipment
Scott
out of the
McNew
pit
said
box
that he
and
said that he has
corrected. It
this
is not
like
a
2014 year's
pass-through
500
penalty.
logo tattooed on him.
It
Well,
is
that's
a more
funny.
major penalty as he carried the
I don't know how you can keep
out
forgetting
of
that
his
when it's
pit.
on you there,
As
Scott.
Kyle Busch served, so will Almirola.
It's permanent.
A stop and go penalty on pit road. Danica Patrick leads the
Yep.
Daytona 500.
There you go.
Yeah.
89
My
laps
boyfriend was
complete,
riding this
111
too.
to go in Daytona. Last time by
Former.
7 drivers.
Yeah. Or
were they
led
dating
by
at that
Danica
time?
Patrick,
They were at that time.
the race leader, came to pit road and completing a cycle of pit
Well, my
stops
boyfriend might
one
also
lap
be in
later,
this race
Michael
too.
Waltrip, who picked up the lead in this race that he has won twice. So we have
We don't know
cycled
that
through, and
yet.
That means that number 27.
He might be on the screen right now, but we don't know that.
Any guesses?
Denny Hamlin in second,
Pulmonary.
and the 5 of Casey Kane. Remember, he had
Was he
that
married?
spin at the end of pit road.
Okay, I was gonna
exiting
say
the
I don't
pits.
know anything
He is
about
on the tail
his
end.
family life.
I think he's married and he has
And
kids.
remember also,
But he's not on
Kyle
social
Busch in
media,
an
so no one
18
ever
car
knows
dragging
what they're doing.
equipment. He and Casey Kane were trying to get nose to tail and fight off this group of lead drivers, but they were not able to do it. Just were not quick enough.
Trouble for David
Oh,
Wright.
yeah.
His car's
Someone
being
said-
pushed back
someone brought
to the
this up.
garage
This is
area.
the first
He will
race
be the
back in
race's
NASCAR
second
for number 3
retiree,
car.
joining Martin Truex
Oh.
Jr.
And Mark, I believe I do
So is
see
this
a
Austin
marked
Dillon's
improvement
first-
in the performance of
First
the Fords.
Cup race?
Paul Edwards. Now
Well, that's
running in
interesting.
fourth
And he
place.
started on the pole?
You see, the
Well,
two
that's
car
kinda
up
cool.
there. We
Okay,
see
there's
the
the
22
peanuts.
car up there.
Yeah, that's
Looks
an
like
ugly
the
paint
Fords have got a
scheme.
pretty good race package
Yeah.
under tonight.
Isn't it strange when we ran single car practice?
Well, that's
kind
kinda neat, you know, for the first race back, you
everybody
know,
was talking
and
about
it's,
the
you know,
Richard
it started on the
Childress
pole. That was kinda
Chevrolets and the
neat.
I think it was more
fastest
appropriate
being Austin
that,
Dillon.
you know,
Then
what happened
we
in
got into race
2018,
trip.
20
it was
years
the Toyotas
ago.
of Joe Gibbs Racing,
Uh-huh.
and now
And it's some deal that
I
It's
think
crazy.
I know
This
why,
is gonna be
Mike,
20
and Larry
years
knows
since,
this
you know.
too. When we come to
Yeah.
Daytona, we come with, there's two ways to come down here. You come
What was
one
I
way
gonna
with
say?
the car that was really
What was funny, like
really
even they
low
had like a
drag
Lucky
car,
Penny,
not a
like they
lot
did the
drag
same
on
kind of
the car.
deal.
Yeah, they did. I don't know what made them do the Lucky Penny, but they did it.
But it's not, I think it was some
Or
kid.
another kid.
Another
David
kid.
Austin.
Another kid did. Yes, I've seen
But
that.
it
That's
is
so
going to
weird.
race
Like, how does
like
that
a
happen?
beauty, man. And I think that's what Gibbs did. I think they came
Maybe
apart to
somebody's
have
parent was
downforce in
like,
it,
because
and
kid
that's why they've
wouldn't
been so
know.
fast.
And like, hey,
Had to have been, because it's been 20 years. Give them this Lucky Penny.
like okay, I would imagine it would probably be a dad, would be a super fan, and was like, oh, I've been watching since Dale, blah blah, you know, and was probably like, hey, you know, give him this penny, say good luck, and he's like, okay, hey, Austin, here's a good, you know, and like the kid probably had no idea,
Yeah.
you know.
But Austin obviously
Knew what the
knew what that meant. Was like, we gotta get this on the car.
Got backwards on pit road, and he's made a
I mean,
nice
shoot, there's even a
recovery.
picture of him with Dale Earnhardt in
His
Victory
way into
Lane.
the top five. So
Isn't that so
you
cool?
got the
Him and Ty.
11 and third, the 20 and 5th.
Speaking of
and
Ty,
14,
sounds like
18's
he's
fast,
got.
but he's got to get back on
He
the
might be
lead
getting a
lap.
few races. I don't know if he's got a full
This
season. He
track
might be
has
getting a few
definitely
races with
changed
Gun
and
Brothers
for the
Racing.
better since
And there's
the
a
6-hour
possibility,
rain
I don't know
delay.
for sure if this
When we dropped the
happens,
green
possibility,
flag
because
shortly
he's
after
actually
1
eligible for
p.m.
a Busch
Eastern
Clash, that
time,
he might run
we
the
had
23
5 lead
racing.
I heard
changes
somebody
in
say
the first
that,
100 miles.
or seen that
Then the
post, or
rains
maybe you
came.
told me that. I don't know what it
We've
was.
run
Yeah.
50-some laps
Oh, look,
since, a
Paul's back
little
in
over
front.
100
Yeah,
miles.
a fall.
20 lead changes since we restarted.
97 laps in, Paul Menard, your leader. Time for the mid-race report
Is he still with
brought to you
Fox,
by
Chris
Fox Sports
Yeah, they
1 after
make him
the
do more
longest rain
football
delay in
stuff
the
now,
history
though.
Okay,
of the Daytona
that's fair.
500. 6 hours and
I
22
kind of miss
minutes.
his voice at
Kyle
NASCAR.
Busch
He's got a
led
good
the 100
voice.
mile
Yeah, that's
mark.
what I was
Eric
thinking.
Almirola led at the 200-mile mark. There have been 14 different leaders so far. Darrell Waltrip, who are you keeping an eye on?
Look, Chris, this is a no-brainer. The guys wrecked 2 cars. They were old cars. They were last year's cars. They break out a brand new this year, new generation car. And the driver says it's the best car I've ever had at Daytona. He's the defending champion. He's already won the Daytona 500 once today. Jimmie Johnson to victory circle.
Austin Dillon, he started on the pole. He dropped to the back of the pack, been riding around.
Oh, I was like, what does he mean by that?
I don't know what he means.
Get up there and start the race.
So when it was under a big rain delay, they just put the last year's Daytona 500 on TV for everyone to watch.
Oh, that's
So I was like,
funny.
he's won it once already. Oh,
That's funny. Well, we didn't see that, so we went
I think he'll become the first man in the
well,
history of
shoot, for
Daytona
6 hours, you can easily play almost the whole race.
Yeah.
Speed weeks. Krista.
Danica Patrick told me
Yeah, I think they played that and then some.
Yeah. Is overthinking things. She is not doing that tonight. She is letting her car do the work. She's very quiet on the radio. They took 2 tires, and she is extremely comfortable right now.
Comfortable in 21st.
Paul Menard led the halfway
she
lap.
said it's
He's
fun
won
with
the
that.
Brickyard 400. History,
I'm really
though,
going to be sad when
not
Mike
on
Joy
his side
retires.
tonight. The last
Yeah,
driver
I feel like it's gotta be soon.
500
I know it's
after
coming soon.
leading the halfway lap, Davey Allison back in 1992.
Mike, the leader, 21 years since the leader at the halfway point of the Daytona 500.
That'd be
has
somebody
gone
cool
on
if
to
y'all
win.
could
But
ever
watch
get like a
Kevin
commentator
Harvick,
in
the
your
closer who started back of the
podcast.
pack,
Yeah.
loved his car, has
You
won a
know.
500 before by closing
Joy.
in the final
Yeah.
moments. Drivers not
We've
only
had all
racing
of
each
this
other,
before.
they're racing the race
Yeah, I
here in
guess I don't
Daytona.
remember that.
The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Designate a driver and enjoy the great time.
So was it Krista saying Danica will win? LOL.
103 laps complete.
Okay, well, we'll see how
104
that
now. Paul
pans
Menard,
out.
the leader, over Jimmie Johnson, Dale Earnhardt Jr., 3 Chevys leading Brad Keselowski's Ford, and rookie Cole Whitt.
I mean, she
being
still got to go to
scored as
victory
the fifth
lane
place car.
with
That
Ricky.
blue number 26.
Yeah, and
This
street
is
clothes.
the 16th try for
She'd already
Tony
crashed
Stewart
that, I think, both
to win
times.
the Daytona 500, and Stewart
Oh my gosh,
has
you're
been
horrible.
seeing red.
I am.
Yeah, we were talking
But
about
that's the
driver's
truth,
gauges,
though.
and you can look
Dang,
right here
Tony
at
started
the
39,
gauges
currently
that he
40.
can look
What
at. And I want you to
happened?
watch this gauge
Literally
right
has
there.
done
It's
nothing
flashing red. They
all
don't
race.
actually have to read the numbers. If a gauge is in trouble with whatever it's hooked to, be it water pressure, oil pressure, it will start flashing. Matt, normally here, it's either water pressure or water temperature.
I think we'll like imagine that
Larry, 10
Danica
laps
did win
ago,
a cup
Tony
race. It
Stewart
would have
reported
been
with his
big.
team that the
But I think
fuel
it'll be
pressure
big.
gauge was
like,
bouncing all over
'cause
the place.
Deegan's
And
running
then the
full-time
engine
trucks
started
this
going
year.
flat on exit of the corner.
It would be
They
huge
held off as long as they
if you know,
could.
her
They got a
dirt
game
racing
plan. They
career
had
coming
him
to
pinned.
end at
They
Bristol.
topped the
Yeah.
car off with fuel.
Because there's
They
never
shut
been
it
a
off
female
to
to win
reset
in,
the
like,
ECU.
NASCAR top 3.
Stewart
No.
then left pit
Yeah.
road, said, "I feel like the problem is fixed." And then he
I
said,
feel like she has the
spoke
best
too
shot.
soon. It's back.
She seems the most
Something
promising
amiss,
out of all the
possibly with the
females.
fuel
That come
pickup.
through. There's been actually been a lot come
Stewart
through.
Yeah.
is now the
She
7th
seems to have like
car,
the
1 lap
best
down.
like
In the ECU, that's
drive
the
behind her, I
electronic
think. So
control
I've seen
unit,
so
the
far.
brain box of the electronic fuel injection.
She's got to be smart
He reset
on
it, he leaves
social
pit road,
media, not
but it still
get
appears
herself
that
in
he's
trouble.
not rectified the problems. He's out there about 2 seconds off what the leaders are running right
Yeah,
now.
one of the things that bothered me, Larry, was his tack went red. And I'm not sure what that means, but I think it's pretty serious.
Paul Menard, Jimmie Johnson outside. Brad Keselowski drops low. You're riding with Dale Earnhardt Jr. behind his Hendrick Chevy teammate Jimmie Johnson as they try to take the lead from Paul Menard.
I see someone saying that this is Tony Stewart's
Don't you
next to
love what
last
Chad and
Daytona
Jimmy said,
500.
though? They
Someone said no,
wrecked
Tony
two
Stewart
cars.
retired in
Those were last year's
2016.
cars.
While
We
that's
had this new car in
true,
the trailer,
if I
but we
recall
weren't real
correctly,
sure of it.
2015 he started off
How they feel about it
injured
now?
How about
after
Cole Whitt,
a
that rookie in
sprint
the
car
number
accident
26,
in the
Darrell? You said
offseason,
the
I think.
great
so,
thing about watching rookies is
or
you
no, that was
just don't
2016.
know.
One of those years he
everybody
started off
around here
injured,
would say
so
right
he
now.
didn't
Hey,
run
he's
out of
running in
2015 or
26 over
2016
there
in
anyway.
500.
He's running pretty
I know
good.
it'd stink if
And
it was
he wrecked that
2016, then
car
he wouldn't
pretty
get the race
severe
this last
on
one.
Wednesday in
Yeah.
practice. His team repaired it.
Did he
and
ever win
raced
one?
his way into the Daytona 500 in the Budweiser
Okay, so he didn't win this
qualifier.
race.
Kid's a good little wheel
Well,
man.
what do you
For
think
junior
where he
motorsports,
was?
just needed a good car to drive, and I think that this weekend.
I told you, it didn't matter until like the last lap.
Cole Whitt finished 7th in the Nationwide Series last year, racing for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Thinking about Jimmie Johnson, like when Peter was like, "You already won today." I'm sure when that happened live, like us, everybody's like, what? You know? Because, I mean, if I seen a long rain delay, I'd probably just turn on something else. And
I'd have been.
Now if it's
I can't remember what I did, but if it happened today, I'd be napping.
so when you went to your back to school, were you driving like during the rain delay, or when it finally got started, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna go to school much
I think that's one
I can't remember what happened. All I remember is that I ended up back.
Go a lap down here because Jimmy Johnson in the 48, you're riding with him. You can see right there he's going by David Gilliland in the 38. Look how much quicker he was being pushed by his teammate Dale Earnhardt in that 88.
Man, he came up off that second turn, and look at that gap he pulled on the 88 car. That thing is going somewhere.
Menard flying on the bottom in that yellow car, 3 wide behind him. Keselowski in the deuce, Kurt Busch the outlaw on the outside, racing hard in the 500. Still green at 112 laps in the Daytona 500. Let's take a closer look at today's race action with Sprint. Biggest mover, Jimmy Johnson.
Who's better in cup racing, Cole Whitt or Danica Patrick? I can give it Danica Patrick on that one.
Yeah, I would say
with a
that too.
provisional, he's up 39 spots.
Dang, biggest mover plus 39.
Switch now to
Oh,
the
that
new
is moving.
Oh yeah, because he started in the rear. I forgot about that.
See, Tony started near the rear.
And he's still near the rear.
For as low as $25 per month each on the Sprint network.
He's a caboose.
Sprint.com/speed or a Sprint store. Start your family today. Jimmy Johnson,
Not that
Dale
funny.
Earnhardt Jr. Nobody's talking
No,
much
it's funny because I know
about
you
Rick
like
Hendrick's
trains.
team
I
this
do
week.
like trains.
Even their drivers were mentioning others as favorites to win the 500.
I don't like train racing, but I like
right
trains.
now.
Oh yeah,
That's
the
a
cream
thing?
rises to the top, and we
That's when I go single file, we call
Jimmy
it train
Johnson
racing.
is going to be a factor in this race. We knew,
Oh,
we knew
I see what you're. Yeah, here we go. Train
the last 3 or 4
racing.
times down here. Jimmy's the defending
What is that, a
champion.
NASCAR term?
Krista.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm literally thinking trains go
See our Chevy extremely fast. this
Sometimes
week
there's
on
cases
Daytona.
where there's
Right
two
now,
trains
see
running
just
side by
a
side, and
little
the engineers
bit
gonna
tight,
race
just a
each
little
other.
bit tight. 2 tires
See?
on the 27.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Also taking
Just
2
imagine
tires, Kevin
NASCAR for
Harvick
trains.
has been really solid tonight.
Jamie McMurray in and out, along with the 40
Real
of Landon
train.
Castle. And I neglected to mention on the last round
Controversy
of pit stops,
incoming.
the
What's about to happen, you know?
23 Alex Bowman, a rookie, was penalized for too fast on pit road. More
Alex
takers
Bowman
this
penalized on
time?
pit
Yes,
road, too
at least a
fast.
couple.
Oh.
Peeling off to the inside.
Well, got a
Second.
car around. It looks
Ooh.
like it might be the 31 car.
It's the
No,
7.
it's the 7 car.
Almost got Casey Kane in that 5.
Another rookie, Michael Annette, in his first drive for Tommy Baldwin Racing.
Yeah, he got down in that really wet part of the pit
Is that
road
your
entrance
relative?
down there, and it just turned around with him. Nice job of hanging on to it, actually.
So they'll have to change 4 tires after flat spotting those. And he nearly collected Kane, who had his own problems on pit road earlier.
And my apologies to Ryan Newman. I just saw the black and yellow car, and the first thing I thought was the 31 car.
Oh,
Casey
okay.
Kane.
So he
It
just
did
saw
look
the colors
Too
real
It
quick.
did look
fast
kind of
entering
similar.
pit road.
But he was trying to get out of the way of Michael Annette. There is no, I mean, I know speeding is speeding, but that is why Casey Kane was speeding.
Brad Keselowski brings his Ford to the point.
Jimmy.
Taking the lead from Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Kurt Busch on the inside in the 41. And let's show a replay of what Larry was talking about entering pit road.
The 7, Annette is going so
as soon as he
fast.
hit that
There's no
wet
way
area,
to
he
really
just
get it
went
checked
around.
up. And Casey Kane had to take he had to gas it right there to keep Barnett from getting in the side of him.
I would have to say Casey Kane's spotter, Kevin Hamlin, was telling him what was going on
It's
there
interesting that
behind
Pilot car had a lot of yellow on it when their logo is more
The
predominantly
penalty would
red.
certainly be less damage than if Annette had spun into him.
Well, just think about it. Casey spun leaving pits earlier tonight, and now that time almost had a calamity getting in.
you. Yeah, he was already a lap down.
4 cars to the pit lane this time, led by Brian Vickers in the 55, Denny Hamlin, Bobby Labonte, and Ricky Stenhouse. Matt?
And the 11 guys up on the wall. Hamlin says the car is tight. They're going to try to work on that condition more with an air pressure adjustment. Caleb Hurd, the new member of the 11 crew, gets the second can of fuel. This will be a 4-tire stop. So that way we can go back to the 2-tire cycle next time.
Cole Whitt also in, completing service, and Casey Mears has been black flagged. They'll stop scoring his car if he doesn't pit this time around.
Wow.
Wait, why Casey Mears?
Kyle
What kind of
Busch is
logos
in.
on his car?
Jeff Gordon
Oh,
right
that's
behind Kyle.
AARP's Drive to End Hunger campaign.
Okay, but what is it? Looks like
Scheduled green
oh, is it a
flag
fork?
pit stops. A lot of sparks from behind.
Kind of,
Kyle
yes.
Busch's car
It's
as
like
he
a
stops,
fork,
man.
and it's like a D with an E in the
And
middle.
Bush said nothing
Okay,
on the radio
I'm
about
gonna
any
try
So it's
possible
like
issue.
Drive to End
They're
Hunger.
going to make
Right,
a
well, that's
wedge
neat.
adjustment.
Appreciate
Kyle's
$2
in the
from
car
Nicholas. Your
with
expectation on this year's road course clash?
Chase Elliott's
Chase
gonna win.
Elliott gonna win.
And Jeff Gordon on pit road, just right side tires.
Hamlin did look pretty strong in that road course race, but
You know, I
think Elliott.
I don't honestly, I don't imagine it being too exciting.
Yeah.
I think that.
I think they're gonna regret changing it.
I don't know if anybody's seen the ARCA race. That was the first. Was it the first race on the road course configuration? And it was awful because there was not many cars on the. There wasn't many cars on the track because obviously it's ARCA. There's not many cars in her, and they all just got spaced out, and they were all just chilling. Like there was at least like 2 seconds between each person, almost what it felt like. So
there's Tony
in the trunk of Tony Stewart, who thought he had fuel pressure.
but especially them.
Now Casey Kane angry.
You know,
about
the
that
clash.
penalty,
Obviously,
but
it's not a full field. I
computerized
can't imagine it being
timing
too
on pit road.
exciting. I mean,
Kinda
obviously, I
like
wouldn't be
those
excited
red
because
light cameras, and here's what he
NASCAR's on
said.
the TV and it's live, but I don't imagine.
Oh, wait.
it.
Watch here.
By a wrecked car because of their wet pit road, and they're going to penalize us? Yeah, we're going to go another lap here.
Oh, this is a
I
controversy.
feel for him. I really
They said he
do.
was
I
speeding on pit
understand
road
we
because
saw
he
what
sped up to
happened,
not get hit
and
by Michael
it's a
on that.
shame, but you know the rules
That is
are the
kind of a
rules, and
BS
that's
call.
that's the job of the officials to make the calls.
Well, and I think that
But yeah, like I said,
frustration, he was
I don't
already
imagine
a
it
lap
being too
down,
exciting just
fighting to
because
get
there's not a
it
lot of
back, and here he has to serve this penalty, so it just continues to go the wrong way.
You're going to see
Yeah,
him
watch
right
this.
here. He
He
looks in the
sped
mirror,
up.
he
Yeah,
looks
no,
out the
I saw
side.
it.
But he
Whoa,
sped
I
up
got
to
to get
miss
going
him.
here, and you see the fire come out the side after that. So he saw him coming. He knew he had to speed up or get rammed into.
He has
Yeah,
a
what do you
great
wanna do, get a
point, but
penalty
the
or get
timing
rammed
system is
into?
computerized. The rule is finite. I don't think there's room in that rule for interpretation.
Well, in my rule book there would be, but not in NASCAR.
The Penske team cars in together once again. Keselowski the 2, Logano the 22.
Those look any different?
And Steve, on these green flag stops, they've been
yes,
pitting
because Brad doesn't
together,
have
so
full
they
light.
have a drafting
Oh, okay,
partner
so
leading.
But aside from that, yes,
Exactly, Mike, and we anticipate
had he
both
still had Miller
cars
Lite, it probably would
taking
still
on
look
four
like that.
tires on this pit stop. You're watching Brad Keselowski to your right. They do in fact
Like Miller Lite's
change
like a
four
well-known
tires.
brand. I feel like they
Small
could have
chassis
came up with a better
adjustment
paint
for Brad
scheme.
Keselowski.
I
He
see why
likes
so
his
many people
car
like that blue
otherwise.
one.
It's like,
Logano
did
getting
Penske
his left
fire
side
their graphic
tires
designer
on
forever
again.
ago to just keep
No
recycling the
chassis
same
adjustments
stuff?
to Logano's
I
number 22.
swear, like they literally put zero,
Thanks, Steve.
little to
123
zero
laps
effort in
complete this
their
time
paint scheme.
by
Because
Jimmy Johnson.
they've kept the same for
Trying to
so
win the
many
Daytona
years.
500 for the second year in a row. His wingman, his teammate, Dale Earnhardt Jr. They're 1-2 in Daytona.
Dude, I was bummed to race for that.
125
Yeah,
of
next
200 laps complete in the Daytona 500. That's Kyle Busch out in front, a lap
Appreciate
down.
$2
Jimmy
there,
Johnson,
Scott.
the
So it
48
reminds
leader.
me of the Carl
Dale
Edwards penalty
Earnhardt
in
Jr.
2006.
and
Carl
Carl Edwards up at the front.
How about our pole sitter?
Oh, look.
Now this
Rain.
Go away, go away.
could miss us. All right, and the sun could come up tomorrow. Neither are likely. Everybody not watching
Well,
the
there's a lot of
racetrack
lightning
is
in that
watching the
Oh, is that
weather
what the white
radar
is?
and that
Or
the
storm
orange that kind of
system
faded?
and the lightning
Yeah.
strikes out in the Gulf. So Matt Kenseth stopping in front of Matt Yoakum.
Kenseth has certainly lost the handle on this 20 machine. He was saying it's twitchy and darty on exit, and since lap 100, taking 2 tires since lap 100, it's been chattering the right rear. At one point, he told Jason Ratcliffe, "I almost lost it. I barely held on to it. Definitely have lost that handle."
Well, Jimmy
But
48
think about what I said
Rain, come
earlier.
now. Jimmy's in the way.
Yeah, come now.
Car package, and I think that because of the weather and we're racing at night, that may not be working out so well for them.
Oh, Danica.
You're in the wet stuff.
Might be the hot way to go tonight because of the weather.
All right, big pack of cars on pit road, Darrell. 11 of them. Krista?
The struggle for Jimmy Johnson was just getting to the bottom to be able to pit. One thing that he likes.
Do you know if
though, is
this one was
style
affected by
of
rain, or
racing.
did they
He
get to
said
race
push
more?
drafting
They finished it.
never
Okay.
fit his style.
That would
This
not be a
does.
race in a while,
Meanwhile,
I feel like.
Danica Patrick also
Like a weird
in.
winner.
Talked about
I can
how
already
she
tell
led
you,
those
2009
laps. She's just trying to stay
and
comfortable
2003
and confident.
were decided
Steve?
because of rain.
Krista, 2
Yeah.
tires for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Steve Letarte.
Was it a winner
crew chief,
that probably
reminding him,
didn't seem like a
"Leave on
fluke?"
me, not
No.
on the jack drop. They wanted to get enough fuel in that 88.
No, 2009, 2003 both had good winners in my opinion.
Okay. like somebody who deserved it. Sometimes I feel like at the end of a race, like it's a strategy game.
They started to change
you know,
the tires.
Like the
He
Justin
says,
Haley
guys,
thing.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think where I was. I think it was in Jamaica on a mission trip.
Has gotten out of the
Does that
race
sound
car,
right?
obviously upset.
Well,
and
what's
frustrated.
crazy is
His
I played
chances
Justin Haley
for the
winning at Daytona
500
with a fluke, but
gone.
look at him last year and it's
What a
funny.
shame. He's running.
Like, I feel like he
yeah.
could win the Cup again.
Coming out
That is
the hood,
true. I
and he
never
knew there
thought
was
about
something
that.
wrong with it, so out of the race.
But I was out of
Brian Scott
out of the
had
country
Orange
doing a
33
mission
car
trip,
there in the middle of the
and
pack. He's actually the
so I
leader
didn't get
of
to
the
watch
race.
the race.
Now, he was
But
one of the last
he told me
drivers
what
to
had
get there
happened
last cycle.
or
So
whatnot,
he
and
can
so
run
when
a
I
few
came
more
back, I
laps
remember
here, as well
watching
as
it on a
Justin
replay, and I'm
Allgaier,
thinking,
Waltrip,
just
and
watching
Ryan
where he was running, I'm like, how did he win this race?
Yeah.
You know, and it was all about strategy. You know, he just, obviously got in the right place at the right
He's
time.
bringing her on pit road, I can tell you that.
And coming in hot.
But you know, going into these super
Nationwide Series,
speedway
where he has
races,
142
anybody
starts,
has a chance.
2 second place
You know, as long as you're on the
finishes.
track competing,
Brian
you
Scott,
have a
rookie
shot at
Justin
winning it.
Allgaier
Yeah.
and Ryan Newman
That's true.
on pit road with him. And we cycle around to our leader is once again Michael
Another
Waltrip.
RCR car out there. Brian Scott.
My brother is an interesting
Brian?
dude. I got to tell you.
Okay.
I don't know how he
Is it
does
Brian
it.
or
I've
Brian?
never been able to figure it out. But he
There's
always
another
finds a way
RCR,
to be in the
right?
Yeah,
front of
Brian Newman.
Daytona.
And there's
When it
a small
counts.
guy in the team one.
Is
And
that
you know
RCR?
what? There's weather
No.
in the
Oh.
area, and he
You were
knows
just
how.
saying- I guess you were
He's
just saying
won
that.
this race, a rain
So
short
RCR
race here
had
a few
3
years
cars?
ago.
Daryl, I think
Justin
he's going to
500.
have to come to pit road, and I think you're
Okay.
seeing he's headed there right now.
Josh Wise just ahead of him, driving for Phil Parsons Racing in a car.
It's funny,
that
people in the
finished
chat
top
were
10
saying
in the
Mikey, and I
500
definitely didn't know
last
that.
year. And here's Michael
I was like,
Scott.
oh, I'm not the only one saying that.
Krista?
It'll be 4 tires and fuel for Michael Waltrip. One issue that he had earlier in the race, similar to other drivers, having trouble with the
He's
radio.
such a
He had to
character.
change
I love
radios
him.
when he went back to
Mikey.
racing.
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah.
And catching up with Clint Boyer, he's walked from his race car, heading back to the hauler. Can you even begin to put into words the disappointment and frustration of losing the motor?
No, it's just a frustrating day. From first the rain. I mean, if it was going to blow up, I wish it had blew up 4 hours ago,
Welcome to the booth.
I could have been home
Yeah.
watching, but just disappointing.
I know
The
you
guys
said
worked so
there,
hard
but I
for
know
this
you would be
race.
happy today in
Oh.
2021.
Oh, his wife put a video out on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
He was so happy.
This night's over. NASCAR's most popular driver, Dale Earnhardt Jr.,
Back.
won the 500 in 2004. This
We
is
shall
his
see.
15th running of the Great American Race, and now he has led in 10 of those 15 tries. Here's the pass on the 99 of Carl Edwards.
And I don't think there's any mistake in it. These guys have been
I think it's
told
back on.
there could be some weather
Think
coming.
so.
Because I see a lot of intensity. Look at the 18 trying
Just
to
like
force
look
in front
on
of
your
it,
phone that's white and
of the
you can see that.
43 there car. Remember up. I mean, these guys are starting to make some pretty bold moves here.
Let us know if
They're
it's
not
back
messing around
on.
right now.
Yeah, y'all might want
The
to
last lap.
refresh it. It just kind of said OBS disconnected for a minute.
I think we're back
Well,
on.
watch our junior drives. I love to watch
Yeah,
the
I
guy.
think so.
Look where his
All
hands
right,
are. He
sorry
puts
about
his
that.
right hand back
Sorry,
on the wheel
guys.
going down the straightaway. And when he gets to the corner, he usually slides that right hand. Look, slides that
Okay,
right
we're
hand
back.
right over on top of the left, back to the right.
Now Dale Jr.'s in the lead.
Let's take
Woohoo!
a
Happy
closer
Danny
look at
B.
tonight's race with Sprint.
You were a
Fastest
Dale
lap of the
Jr.
race,
fan.
the pole
I
sitter
was.
Austin
Big time
Dillon,
Dale
number
Jr. fan.
3, 204.3.
So what time period
Switch
did
now
you
to the
start
new Sprint
rooting for Dale
family
Jr.?
plan.
when
Up
it
to 10
comes to
friends
Hendrick
and
and
family
08.
get
Okay.
unlimited talk, text, and a gig of data for as low as $25 a month each.
Like
Sprint
why
Store.
when it can
Go to a
Hendrick, you're
Sprint
like,
store
oh, I
and
want to root
start
for this
your
guy.
family
I guess when I was
today.
a kid, I didn't want to root for a
See,
guy
Mike,
in a beer
I think
car.
that's the beauty of the
Did you
fuel
know it was
injection
beer?
and the ECU,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
ECU unit. That thing will
But then when they
adjust
said
the
he's coming to
engine the
Hendrick, and
conditions.
I
the
was rooting for
conditions
Jeff
are
Gordon,
ideal.
and I
We
was
got
like, well, I kind of want to
pretty
root for
good
this
air
guy
right
now.
now. It's cool, it's moist, and
It's
you
funny,
can make
you
max power right now. And that
cheered
unit
on
is
for
tuning that
a
engine to
good
perfection.
significant part of your
You know, Daryl and Mike, we have
racing
63
life.
laps
You know,
to
say
go
your
with
racing
the
fan
winning
life.
Just for
set
Hendrick
of green
drivers.
flag
Well,
starts.
no,
Yeah, every
that too.
driver
But I was
out
gonna say
there
for a
has
most
to make
popular
one more
driver,
stop,
and then
I
I
think
picked
every
one
driver
to
can
like,
make
and
it
it's
a
the most
one-more
popular
stop.
driver.
And
Oh,
those
yeah.
pit stops
And I
should
didn't pick
start
him because he
about lap
was.
158,
I don't know.
roughly
I
about
think
20
what made me
laps
pick
from
him
now.
honestly is that
Another top contender
I
has
started
fallen
watching
by
in
the wayside,
2016,
Tony
and he
Stewart
was a rookie in the Cup Series 2016, you know?
I agree with the Bateman TV. We do need to do a dirt watch along. I think before the dirt Bristol race, we might watch like some of the old sprint car races from Bristol.
Kenseth have been complaining about his right rear
Yeah.
tire chattering. He had a hard time holding on the
He's
race car.
close to our age, so it's kind of neat to root for somebody who's just starting out their Cup career than picking somebody and had to learn a lot about their
The tires still held air, but the
yeah.
Goodyear engineers look things over. They think that might be what Kenseth was feeling in his race car, and he hasn't reported anything since. The crew says no news is good news, Steve.
Oh yeah, I agree on this one. Need to do a prelude to the Dream Race from Eldora. I forgot about that
41
one.
rather.
Yes, need to do that.
Still running strong, but
Should just pick an Eldora race.
Daniel Canoes has told him
No,
that
one of the
he
prelude
has a
to the Dream.
quarter panel brace
What's
in
that?
the right
Well, it was
rear
like
quarter
NASCAR
panel
stars
that's
and late
broken
models.
and is causing some of that sheet
And
metal
like,
in that right rear
most of the
quarter
panels
panel
of
to
their NASCAR
flat.
cars,
So they're a
too.
little bit
That's cool. I'd be
concerned
interested in
about
watching
that in
that.
the 41 pits of Kurt Busch.
Thanks, Steve. 139 of 200 laps are complete. There's Jamie McMurray's Chevy. Kurt Busch on the outside. A Chevy in front, Dale
Guys
Jr.
in
and
1 and
3
2 are no
Fords
longer
right
racing
behind
now.
him.
So sad.
You can enter for a chance to win the
Wait,
new
who's two? I didn't
2019
see.
Chevy SS.
Well, actually, the whole
And a
top
trip for two
4
to
is
Hendrick
not racing anymore.
Motorsports to meet
Casey
Team
Mears,
Chevy
Greg
drivers Jimmy
Biffle,
Johnson
Carl
and
Edwards, and Dale
Casey
Jr.
Kane. Visit winyourchevy.com.
Did Greg Biffle like know he was retiring? Like did?
Yeah, I think he kind of chose. He was like, basically he told Roush, it's like, look, I'm not going to continue to drive.
78 car
when
earlier today.
These cars are driving like
the
crap
oil pump belt came
anymore.
off. It's the little
Yeah,
things
wow.
that just seem you try to control.
Like,
but
did
you
he tell
can't.
like the fans like, "Hey, I'm retiring this year"?
No,
Or did he just like go?
It was kind of just like ghosted.
For the drivers
like
that are
Carl
one lap
Edwards?
down.
Yeah,
It's been going
it's
back
kinda
See,
like that.
you know, I don't like that.
And it was after the same year, too. It was after
Inside line,
2016.
and Casey
Yeah.
Mears in that 13, that's the first driver's 1 lap down. Remember, caution comes out.
Like I
whoever's
wish I
the
could have appreciated,
driver that's a lap
like
down
got to
closest
appreciate.
the
I'll say
front
it that
gets his lap
way.
back
Carl
up
Edwards a
to the
little bit
free
more.
pass.
Yeah.
Like he was so
Tony
good,
Stewart
and
sitting
you know,
in
it
his
seemed
car
like
as
you know
it's
things he
still
won and
under
whatever,
repair in
and
the garage.
I just wish we
I
could.
didn't understand how
Tony
good he
Stewart
was or
continues to
whatever.
sit
I just
helmet
wish
on,
we
but
knew
you see
more
all the,
why he chose
brain
to step
trust
away.
of Stewart
Yeah.
Haas Racing.
Well, he
Matt
don't have
Burlin,
social media either,
competition
does he?
director,
No, he
Greg
doesn't.
Zippadelli, Scott Maxim, engineer for Hendrick Motorsports, and these are Hendrick engines and these Stewart Haas cars. They're all over here looking and diagnosing. They're changing the fuel cell. We did the report earlier about the ECU, the electronic control unit. Right now, it's changing the fuel cell. You see disappointment
It's so funny
in
to me,
Tony
like,
Stewart's eyes.
you know, we're still in the era of they have like no crash clock, or like you know, we're no thing, or you know what I'm saying, that you can just come back out. I mean, I don't think that he has mechanical stuff, but I think that's still allowed,
For Tony
right?
Stewart, it's devastating. I mean,
I
he
think
is
so.
he
Like, there's no, like,
worked
time
hard.
limit.
His
You know, I
target was to
love
be
not
back
having
in
a
the
time
car in
limit.
Daytona.
You know,
He
put the
made
car
his
back up
target.
there.
I know he
Go
wanted
give
to come
it-
down
go
here
do
and
what you
run
can.
well, get some
You know,
racing
well,
under
I
his
guess it
belt,
depends on what part
see
of the
how he was
race,
going to
but,
feel. This is
you know, you
devastating
could
to him and his
be gone for a good
recuperation.
portion, come back, a big one happening, you
As
still
an
finish ahead
owner,
of people.
Stewart
Yeah.
still has
You
3
know.
cars in the mix.
But there would
however.
have to be a significant amount of laps left, and
Riding
it would
with
have
Dale
to
Earnhardt Jr. in
have to
1988,
happen
he's
early
looking at
enough.
those 2 Roush
Yeah.
Fenway drivers behind him, and he's been going up in front of Carl Edwards in the 99, back down in front of Greg
Dale
Biffle in the
Jr. basically
16.
blocking both
that
lanes of
88
traffic
is showing
there.
some strength right now, Larry. He's been able to hold those 2 Fords off by doing that move, moving in and out from one side to the other. But he got a little lead there. Might have gotten out a little too far. Let's see what he can do. Look at those eyes. How can you drive a car at 204 miles an hour looking back? I mean, that takes some talent right there. And folks, don't ever underestimate how fast these guys are going, how close they are to running
How many
together,
laps to go?
and
It
how
says
hard it
58.
is. It's just not as easy as they make it look. These guys make it look easy because they're the best drivers in the world.
Dale Jr.'s
Spoiler,
grandfather
racing's at mile
Ralph
500.
was a standout in NASCAR's sportsman division. His father, Dale Earnhardt, 7-time NASCAR champion and Daytona 500 winner. Carl Edwards breaks up that party,
Carl Edwards
putting
definitely-
his Roush Fenway Ford out in
Fastenal's
front.
been with
His
Roush
teammate
Fenway
Greg
for a
Biffle,
long
the
time now.
16,
That's true.
leading the inside lane.
Like since
We're inside
2011
of 150
now.
miles to
Fastenal
go.
curse.
Dare I say we've been caution-free.
Isn't that what
since
Darian
the
always
green
says?
flag after
Yeah.
the rain delay here in Daytona.
Well, recognize that guy up there?
No, I didn't really.
Oh!
He's gonna
wow.
crash.
That was Steve Letarte. Oh, Danica.
Crash out of turn number 4.
Oh, Paul Menard.
I wish we could have seen that. I hate. What is?
Eric Almirola.
Dang.
Why do they always
His
say?
car
Mikey's
turn up. That is
ruined.
Michael Waltrip, who will not
You
win
can't
his
see.
third Daytona 500. David Gilliland's car is crashed.
The bacon.
Almirola's gone straight to the garage with his number
Oh,
43.
you're stuck.
Yeah, you ain't moving, buddy.
Who
Gilliland
is that?
stuck in the mud, and Danica
might be
Patrick.
Michael
And
McDowell.
Mike Danica, she pounded that outside wall head on first.
Let's watch the action coming out of turn number 4. And let's have a look for Eric Almirola on the right side of the 43.
No. It was 33.
It looked like the 33 car of Brian Scott. Something. Watch Danica right there.
Yeah, something got hit on Danica and like it broke in her car where she just veered to the right.
Brian Scott down right next to, and Kevin Harvick makes
it's Harvick's fault.
That's what shot
Harvick.
Yep. That's what shot the 33 up the hill.
You're supposed to be a
something
veteran.
had to happen.
Doesn't he win the championship this year?
The 33 abruptly turned to the right and went up the hill. We got our pole sitter involved.
He has little Ricky stripes.
Danica.
Austin Dillon, Danica Patrick.
It's crazy
Michael
now to
Waltrip.
think how long he's been in the Cup Series.
I know.
Among those involved.
This is his 7th year now.
I do think that he's tend to got. It seems like he's gotten
coming
better.
off the outside.
You know?
He collects Justin Allgaier in the 51.
Like RCR, I think,
Paul Menard
has got some stuff together. You know, got their stuff together. I believe. You know, Tyler Reddick was a great addition to that team. I think.
Gilliland into the mud.
I think that was a
Ryan
good move.
Newman taking evasive
You know, to
action.
bring
Here's the
him
hand cam on Almirola's car.
That's a hard hit. Let's run a caution on a couple of some dishes and stuff.
Sure.
Okay, keep them entertained.
No guarantees. I feel awkward on the screen by myself, so you need to hurry.
How do you think I felt for the longest part?
Well, you're used to being on camera.
I know, I'm a YouTuber.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Are you not a YouTuber?
Sure. I'm going to sit in your chair is what I'm going to do.
Remember that kid at Bristol who asked if you were a YouTuber?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was doing the vlog at Bristol while Danny B and other YouTubers were doing like a giveaway at the NASCAR pole position thing. Then I was at the Monster thing, just kind of vlogging myself, just, you know, some more content, whatnot. And the kid asked, "Are you a NASCAR YouTuber?" So that's a little backstory to that. Or he said, I guess, "Are you a YouTuber, rather?"
Patrick hit the wall in an area of that straightaway that is not protected by the safer barrier. That was nearly 2
I'll have to tell him that about. That's really funny. About
she had such high
Danny.
After finishing 8th here a year ago and leading.
Stream 85 plus live channels with no hidden fees.
It'll end in 4
YouTube TV. Try it free.
You'll find this funny. Oh, where'd it go?
Yeah, you see the 4 car of
Danny B almost hit you in the head with that plate.
Brian Scott in the 33.
Thank goodness he didn't. But I think how you were like swinging it across.
Yeah. Almirola in the outside.
And then somebody clipped that. Danny B abused his wife.
Oh, no.
Just kidding.
Jeff Gordon just barely gets through. There's our
no, he's really good. It's funny.
3 of the Richard Childress racing drivers involved. Almost a 4th had Ryan Newman in the 31 not gotten stopped there on the front stretch.
You've heard from Danica. Michael Waltrip and David Gilliland both climbed out of their cars. Most everyone else has driven away. Here is your leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr. at 147 laps.
The rain looks like it's wants to come.
This storm system is about 30 miles away.
I said the rain looks like it wants to come, but I know it's not. You want to sit in my chair?
All that lightning activity.
And consider Dale Earnhardt Jr. could run to probably at least lap 170 with these cautions, maybe even further than that. I would not be surprised to see them stay out because you can't make it on one stop from here.
Oh, yeah. I think I'd stay out right now for
Danica
sure.
must have hit another shoe.
Now, good news for Brian Scott. He came to pit road, made repairs. He's back on the racetrack. Car owner Rick Hendricks standing behind Dale Jr.'s crew chief Steve Letarte. And now stepping away. Letard from Maine began as a floor sweeper.
I really don't honestly know who that is.
Came from a racing family, came south, wanted to be in the sport, and now he is a race caller and strategist for the sport's most popular driver.
Maybe the voice? I might recognize the voice.
This is his last year at Dale Jr.'s crew chief. He'll be doing going into the TV booth next year for NBC. And I still
maybe if I recognize him with that hat on. Let's see. Let's look him up.
I think they're going to try to accomplish things that
what does he do? Is he in the booth?
Yes. You see Danica's car being hauled away right now. They're loading Michael Waltrip's on the rollback. Damage to the 43 of Eric Almirola and David Gilliland's car getting a ride.
There he goes. Okay.
Markey hadn't had a very good speed week.
Maybe I recognize. I don't know.
In the duels and then again tonight. So tough week for.
I don't know. It's been a while.
You know, when I look at Dale Earnhardt Jr. and that 88, our leader,
maybe
he has finished second in 3
maybe
of
if
the
I heard the
last 4
voice,
Daytona
maybe that's who I'm
500s.
thinking of.
He had 5 second-place finishes in 2013, including finishing second to Jimmy Johnson here a year ago. I think he's about over finishing second.
For that time period.
Tony Stewart has returned to the racetrack after a long time in the garage, 27 laps down.
Now this year he should be.
Well, Larry, I know we've had some interesting
first,
top 10s and top 15s, but right now, if you look at our top 10,
yes.
It's
do you
showtime.
think
It's showtime? The guys that you would expect to be up front, the guys that you think could win, the cream has risen to the top. And they are ready to win the Daytona 500.
Do you think Alex Bowman can qualify for
cleanup in turn 4?
Or not the pole, front row?
Well, he has the last 3 seasons.
I know. Was that your post?
Yeah. I think he's got a good chance.
Pit road's open at 149 laps. Krista.
Chad Knaus telling his driver Jimmy Johnson, make sure you bring it tight to the wall. Tight to the wall. The call for the 48, and there you see him go. Matt.
Bate in the 99 pit about 4 versus 2. Carl thought tires might be more important, Steve, but Jimmy Phoenix said lefts are not wearing. We're going 2.
Right side
Does Eric
tires
have
on
a
the 88
favorite?
for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Matt.
Anymore?
I heard a report that the 16 was going to take fuel only. We'll confirm.
Do you think he'll become a Christopher Bell fan?
Greg Biffle won the race off pit road.
I think he's kind of like
only for
Jarrett
Biffle.
and Darian. They're just too neutral. They can't really
for most of the rest of the leaders.
And I'm like, I get what you guys are doing, but kind of annoying. We're fans. We're just fans. Like somebody for trying out loud.
See, I don't know if I could do that. Just watch to watch. Like, my dad will do that with different sports. You know, turn on random football games or you know, baseball, soccer, whatever. And, you know, ask, okay, who you rooting for in this game? I always pick a side, you know, to find interest in it. My dad would like, oh, I don't care, I'm going for a good game. How can you watch a game and not care, you know, who's going to win? You know, like, we'll go to even just local dirt races, you know, or not dirt races, but I'm talking, I wish there was a local dirt race. Local, what's it, just the track?
Well, we got Highlanders, baby.
Okay, but what is that? Local what? Short track?
Short track.
Okay, and I pick a random car. Oh, I like that one's blue, and I look at that one. Well, it's funny because that one's blue on the screen. But, you know, I pick a car because I like the paint scheme, and that's who I root for in that race. I can't just watch to watch. I mean,
let's take a ride with
Eric
Eric
Elmer. Said use the Danny B code, Danny B25, and order in Dr. Jones.
yes, do that. Yeah. We did that tonight.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Jared's response to when you said, "Are you ever gonna pick a driver?" He said, "I just like to troll people."
In this Daytona 500, excuse me,
That's what he did. I think he just like I know when Denny Hamlin won, he was just like, "Hi, your guy lost," or whatever. Yeah. Like he did.
Thanks, Greg.
And I was like, "Dude, you hated him
the cars that were involved in the wreck." Danica Patrick is in the garage. So is Paul Menard, Michael Waltrip, Eric Almirola, and David Gilliland. Everyone else was able to make repairs.
Kevin.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin.
He could run the 40 in.
Driving like a moron.
About 2 times that.
When I said thanks, Kevin, it reminds me of Home Alone.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
It's what we've talked about all night, Mike. These guys getting 3 wide, and that's where they were, and that's what really kind of caused this mess.
Krista?
Down with Michael Waltrip outside the Care Center. Before we go green, Michael, I know you want to see a replay. You haven't been able to see exactly what happened. What do you feel like happened from your seat?
Well, I saw the cars get together ahead of me, and I let off the gas and was coasting under control, and someone behind me wasn't. And I'm not really sure which car started it, but a black one ended it for me. He ran me over pretty hard, and it was fun racing with the leaders. I stayed in touch with the lead pack, and I know, Krista, this battle to the finish is going to be intense, and I wanted to get the old Peak Blue Death Toyota right up in the middle of it. But luckily, I've got AAA, so I'm going to file a claim, and we'll be able to fix this baby up and have it at Talladega in a couple of months.
Thanks, Michael.
If they make the extra point, yep.
Our Fox Sports colleague trying in his third
With
500. Greg Biffle
2 minutes
took
left
fuel
in the
only on that
third
stop.
quarter.
He's our leader in the 3M4. Dale Earnhardt Jr. The National Guard
Green
Chevy
flag.
alongside as they get the green flag. 47 laps to go.
And I think Michael nailed it. I mean, the gloves are off. This is going to be a fight to the end now. I mean, these guys. There's weather. We know that. The race is coming down to the end here. This is when it gets real serious.
It's entirely likely the next flag could end this race. How big a gamble, Larry, not taking tires for Biffle?
I don't think it's a gamble because we've seen racing at night, as Jimmy Finning told Carl Edwards, tires are not wearing, tires are not making a difference. We want to stay up front, out of the eye of the storm.
Remember, in the Unlimited, they ran 60 laps and never changed tires. And so I don't think you have to worry about the tires. I think they're pretty good.
So beautiful seeing them packed up.
Tires versus track position. Both of Tommy Baldwin's cars in the
I
top
love
10.
Daytona at night. I wish like
last year here.
that would be cool. That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say wish all Daytona races were at night.
Johnson, Edwards, Keselowski, the front
But
five.
that's really what I wish better. More. I wish for that more.
You see them back there on the 5th row, just in front of Kyle Busch at 18.
Spring race would be
When we see that Ford car, he must have some damage from that wreck because saw quite a bit of.
Like, I'm fine for, a Talladega being a day race, but I think one of them needs to be a night. Imagine a night at Talladega.
Jeff Gordon, we haven't talked about him much.
No. I'm talking about in terms of that, like, Talladega's probably central.
That would just be amazing.
That's what I'm saying. That would be wild. I feel like the infield would be crazy nuts.
Larry mentioned Kyle Busch. He got the free pass on that caution flag for that 12-car pileup that put him back on the
See, the
lead.
thing is, I can't imagine, like, being in, like,
he's up in the top 10 already.
camper area just hanging out, whatever. Like, they always say that Talladega infield is crazy. I can't imagine being there. Like, I guess you would have to be near somebody with a camper with a TV.
One peanut.
But being there, but not being able to see the whole race, not being near, like, the garage, or, because we've seen races from the infield before. Well, not a full extent race, but
We've been down there.
Continue to battle for
yeah, and I mean, I like it and all, but I can't imagine, like, being, like, where the campers are. That's nowhere near, like, where the garages are, or the front stretch, or I just think that would be very strange being at a race like that. I do think if the opportunity arose and we could be, like, at a camper in the infield, sure, I'd want to try it, but I'm not itching to find out what that experience is like.
Most people maybe, but even
still,
get on top.
Junior's hanging right there, man.
Get up top.
Yeah, but or you just watch it on your TV. I mean, what's the point of being there?
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a neat
Kinda
experience,
sniffed a little
but I
interest, and
probably
wouldn't
prefer the
his stock
grandstands a
go
little
up
bit
if he
more.
could win this 500. Steve.
Mike, interesting note on that 16 car.
Unless I have a really huge camper that was tall.
They built two brand new
And a
super
nice
speedway cars with the hopes of running here in Daytona. But the car Greg's in now actually ran last year. It had better numbers in the wind tunnel, and it just had more speed. So a tried and true race car for Greg Biffle.
Greg Biffle is between a rock and a hard place right now because he's got two fast drivers, and he just keeps going back and forth, blocking Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr. There he goes to the bottom to block Earnhardt.
And, of course, that messes up the draft off his car, which, it'll help Junior a little bit, and then he'll go over and help Jimmy Johnson at 48 a little bit. In the meantime,
Looks
Junior's
like Mom
trying to
made some
side
pizza.
draft, watch him get over next to the 48, get a little
I was talking to my mom about we were having pizza for dinner, and she said she got me one, so she made her some.
Greg Keselowski, so bunch of Fords up here ganging up on the Chevys right now.
Alfredo
Back
sauce and
behind them, a
whatnot.
whole bunch running 3 wide.
That we do. That was good.
43 laps to go in the Daytona 500 after a 6.5-hour rain delay. Since then, we've had just one caution flag, but it was a big one, a 12-car pileup. Here's your Ram race summary. Greg Biffle, the first of 27
Cheers,
cars on the
comfy.
lead lap.
I like
He's
it a
won
lot better than
19
that
race leaders.
kitchen-style cheer sitting.
Changes.
Well,
Just 3 caution flags.
You want to get one?
I don't think it would look good with that table over there.
Biffle bragged on
Yes, honestly, I do. Have you done that?
He said, man, we finally got speed back
I
in our
wouldn't even know
car.
what to tell you to go
He's been
buy.
happy all week with the thing, and here he is, man, out front when it counts.
But
Well, you already did
he's
it. Too
looked like
late.
three-lane Wayne up there. Up to the bottom, down to the bottom, up to the top, right up the middle. And now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. pulls right alongside.
Yeah, he wasn't able to get to the bottom quick enough that time because that 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. was right there with his teammate, Biffle's teammate, Carl Edwards in the 99 right behind him.
Yeah, Larry, I'm convinced that the last.
Well, he's still there. I mean, I'd be. Oh.
He's been able to.
Well, I would imagine if Junior was in the lead, that's like if Chase Elliott's in the lead, everybody's standing up.
Edwards there behind him gives him a little shot. They probably will be able to clear Biffle and take the lead.
I still think it's sad. I feel like I was more excited to watch Chase Elliott win the All-Star race than I was to watch him win the championship.
2 by 2, just all over each other. And back behind them, here's a.
I think that's something like
there just isn't room.
You don't get to see often. Is your favorite driver? Well, at least me. Favorite driver winning in person.
You're just hoping nothing happens.
Now, if I was a Kyle Busch fan, I would be very happy.
You're trying to make something happen.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen him win so many times.
40 laps to go, 100 miles left in the Daytona 500. Let's go back to the garage in Krista.
Danica Patrick has walked out of the care center. Danica, was that the hardest hit you've ever taken, and how do you feel right now?
I don't know. It feels like they're all pretty hard, unfortunately. I think more than anything, I'm just upset that the GoDaddy car felt really good. It was the best car I'd had all speed weeks, and seemed like we could catch whoever, and seemed like we could move around and make lanes, help lanes out, and move around and move forward at the end of the day. And so I felt like everything was going pretty well. So it's just upsetting, you know. I think that it's a sort of culmination of sitting around all day, and you know, so it's a bummer, but it's, you know, that's kind of the excitement of speedway racing, is that anything can happen. And it was unfortunate that I was on the short end of the accident, but that's the kind of thing that happens. And you know, I appreciate everyone sticking around and watching, and we'll go get them at Phoenix.
Glad you're okay. Thanks, Danica.
I don't want to get any kind of copyright from this ad.
Oh gosh, it's a whole 15 seconds.
Oh gosh, I can't skip it.
Oh, look at the goats! Oh, we're gonna apply for a credit. New money goal. Nerd wallet.
Thanks, Krista Dale Earnhardt.
Oh,
here we go.
Why again? Literally, they're running so fun, and then boom. It's like they know when it's coming.
Big damage to the Ford of Marcus Ambrose, number 9. And caution waves with 38 laps to go.
Marcus.
Do you like that style 9, or do you like Chase Elliott 9?
I like that style 9 because it fit really good.
Something seemed somebody broke.
Okay, well, forget the paint scheme. I'm talking about the
was
number.
contact.
Rookie Michael Lynette, heavy damage.
Look at that.
Oh, gosh.
Pilot Chevy.
I didn't
Marcus
notice that.
Ambrose.
Like, that 9 isn't bad.
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Watch the 3 of our pole sitter, Austin Dillon.
I thought he got caught up in that other wreck. Then he kind of came up on. Is that Larson?
Yeah.
Then wham, he just kind of roadblocked everybody.
Ripped the door off. It's like, I'm coming in.
We're under caution in the Daytona 500. Welcome back to the Daytona 500 under the caution.
All right, Sunday Night Football. Here we go.
Up at turn number 4.
I'm
Let's
sorry,
take
I
you back to
associate
the
that
lap
sound
before
with
the
football,
crash and look at
NFL.
number 3
Football is
of our
just
pole sitter, Austin
I guess because I
Dillon.
didn't watch. I mean, they've used this tune for a long time. Haven't they? Like, I think I remember. Excuse me. Being a kid,
loose with him right there, and he
I
has
mean,
to
I
catch
watched
him. He
NFL
did a
probably
great
more
job
than
of saving the
I
car,
know I did
but
watch it because I
either
never
there was
watched
something
NASCAR.
going on with the
Like, my
tires
family
or
did
the
not
car just
ever
got
watch
violently
that. So
loose.
I've,
Now we
you
head
know,
on down
obviously
to turn
didn't,
3.
you know,
And
till
once
later,
again, watch
you
the back of
know,
the 3 car. The
what?
car starts to get
I'm
loose
trying to
like you
think.
saw before.
Late teens,
He
early
chases it up the
20s.
hill.
So growing
42
up,
was
I,
maybe inching
you know,
down a
football
little
would be
bit.
on the TV. My dad would be watching it,
Kyle Larson
whatnot.
in the
I'd
42,
be
and they came together,
somewhat
and that's what
interested,
caused
and
that
I always, I guess,
Just nowhere
associate that
for
sound with
Mike
football.
Lynette
I
in
never
the
heard it with
7, Casey Kane in the
NASCAR.
5.
But you probably, well, you grew up equally
Nowhere for him to
NASCAR
go.
football watching.
I think there was something
So
going on
you
with that
just
3
think
car,
Fox.
because
I
off the
think
2 down there,
football.
it got sideways.
Like, I
It
think
goes into 3. It
when
starts to
Fox
get sideways.
first
It
got
washes
NASCAR,
up
they
into
started
Kyle
using
Larson in the
that thing for a little
42.
bit, but then they got
And
their
then
own
from there on,
thing.
I
When-
think
About
Kyle
2011,
Larson was
they
coming
went
down the
to
hill a little
actually
bit.
using that.
The 3 car got
When
a little
did
loose, started
Fox
up the hill a little bit.
come
and they
into
made contact.
NASCAR?
And toward the back, add to the cars damaged.
Oh, okay,
Bobby
so long
Labonte,
time, okay.
Ryan Newman, and
You made
Brian
it sound
Scott.
like in the last like 10
Had a bit of collateral damage.
I mean, within the last
from this
10
one.
years, they started using the Fox Sports fans.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Caution with 36 laps
Cat's
to
really
go.
knocked out.
As Austin Dillon makes contact with
I don't know if y'all
Kyle
can even hear him in
Larson.
the microphone, but
The circuit's two most heralded rookies of the season get together in turn 4.
No, he's fine.
He's so knocked out.
It's
Did you
been
see
an
him?
exhausting
Yep.
Daytona
Okay.
500 and 34 laps remain with Dale Earnhardt Jr., the leader over Greg Biffle and Carl Edwards under our fourth caution.
That's gonna be you. Your belly's
His
full.
second ever Daytona 500. You tuned in a little bit
gonna
more,
get a
you
med
know that
soon.
there was a rain delay of 6 hours and 22 minutes. Kyle Busch had the lead at the break, but once they resumed with the threat of more rain on
Imagine
the way,
being at that race and waiting around for 6 hours.
Jeff Hammond was racing towards the front. Casey Kane having a spin-out problem.
Which was good because wasn't that when Jarrett and Deering got stuck out in the monsoon?
Try to find that.
Yeah, and Jarrett was soaked and cold,
Was
and
that the one where Jared almost had like California?
I think it was.
And a number of drivers involved that had promising
Because Daytona, you know, you're there during the day in February. It's fine. Shorts, t-shirt weather, high 60s, low 70s kind of range. You know, mid to high 60s, whatever. But at nighttime, it gets really cold. Like we had to buy like a little throw blanket to sit, like throw on, our lab.
I remember telling Jared and Darren, I was like, look guys, we were with
highly
Sloppy
touted
Joe.
rookie Kyle
Wow,
Larson. You
look
were able
how
to see that
young he
replay there. You
was.
kind of shook your head. Is what you
Okay,
saw
I'm sorry.
happen on the
We
monitor,
were
what
with
you
Sloppy
felt
Joe,
happen in the car?
and we told,
yeah, it's just
we
kinda-
all agree, like, okay,
it was a
look at
long
the radar,
day.
it
I
looks like
got in the
it's
wall
not
lap
going to
one,
finish up.
and,
And we told
then
Jared
blew the
and Darren,
record
was like,
spun
hey
out,
guys,
so we
you need to go ahead
had a
and be
rough
heading
start
out
from
now.
the go of
There
it,
is
but
more worse
just
rain
kind of rode
coming,
around the
and it's
whole
gonna
race
hit
there.
us.
and
I think it was just
finally
kind
got
of a
in the lucky
light
dog position, so
sprinkle
we
because
racing
I
pretty hard
remember we
there,
were
and,
standing like in the
I just
garage,
pulled the
actually
middle
in
line,
the
and I don't know
garage.
if I
We were in the
got loose
infield
and
at that
shuffled the
point
track and
because the race had just
got
started,
into me
obviously,
and,
as
turned it
y'all probably
sideways,
know
but,
from last year. And
really long
then
day, so
it was kind
can't
of
wait
like
to get to
drizzly
Phoenix
rain.
and
It
try
was
and do better.
raining, but it wasn't a monsoon. I
Been in
think it had
Daytona a lot,
stopped.
so it
As
sucks
soon
to,
as we got back
end
to
it
his
like
truck,
this, but I guess
just
we'll go to
like
Phoenix and try and rebound it and get some momentum built up.
We tried to tell
Mike
them,
might
like,
make
look,
this rookie
guys,
battle
we
even
need to
more
go
intense.
Certainly. Thanks, Krista. The
But,
top 15 did not stop under this caution. We asked you to show us how to get ready for race day, so let's take a
do you remember that
KFC
car that was
social
kind of
media
across the
pit
street
stop
that got like
to
stuck
get
in
a
the
look.
little
How do
thing?
you KFC?
I think so, yeah.
It was
It's
a
Sunday,
like
that
a
deserves a meal
pond,
for
I guess.
kings.
And I think it was
There you
raining
go.
so
Let's,
hard, or maybe they slipped
how
off
you
or whatever,
KFC
and
right
kind of went head first into a little pond, and they were trying to tow him out.
Yeah.
Chad Knaus, crew chief for Jimmy Johnson, the defending champion of
Sadly,
both
he's gone
the Sprint
too.
Cup
That's so
Series
sad,
and
but
the
I mean,
Daytona
he's still with the
500.
Hendrick organization.
His
We just want to
driver
see him
in
on the road.
fourth place right now, behind
Which
Dale
I know
Earnhardt Jr.,
they just
Greg
had.
Biffle,
Didn't his wife just have a
and
kid not
Carl
that long ago?
I think
Edwards.
so, yeah.
So you know, he probably wants
And
to stay
Chad is a
home a little
perfect
bit.
example of what we're talking about.
somebody
Everybody's
saying something?
intensity has picked up.
We
Chad
got
marking orders.
end
Earlier
of
today,
third
they were just
quarter.
adjusting on the mirror.
That's
and
also
messing
his
with
tied
the bar,
game.
a little wedge, a little air,
Tied
a
ball
little
game.
this. But now,
We got 33 to go in the 2014 500.
it's all on the line, and it's time to get it done.
Out of the race, Martin Truex, engine. Clint Boyer, engine. David Gilliland, Eric Almirola, Michael Waltrip, Danica Patrick, Kyle Larson, Michael Annette, all with crash damage. Tony Stewart, David Reagan, many laps down after repairs. So too Paul Menard, Casey Kane, and A.J. Allmendinger.
Now, most of our leaders pitted with 50 to go,
I was
which
gonna
is
say, if you
well
keep
outside
playing
the
with
fuel
it, it
window,
ain't gonna
but I
stick
think
when
with
you
the
actually get a
precautions,
helmet.
everybody would be good to go.
I know, but I know. I keep wanting to play with it too. I'm just like, no, stop. Because the more you mess with the adhesive, it's not going to stick when you want to actually stick it somewhere.
Greg Biffle in the 16, trying to deny Junior his second Daytona 500 victory. But that Chevy
when was
is
his
out
first?
in the wind. We saw
I
early
need
in
to
the
know
race
that?
on a restart.
Dale Jr., they said somebody was going to deny him of his second, you know.
What'll happen to Junior here?
I think he's just right. He made a nice restart there. He's going to be able to work whichever line is coming. He can move to the right or the left.
Oh, five
and,
to
so I think that restart was perfect.
Was
He didn't
that
get so far that they
like
got a big run on him.
a close win, or why
last Sunday, I think we were
about the
asking
diecast of that?
where
Why
it
was
is.
that so?
I think we found him. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s up
Maybe
there
we need to
leading,
watch that one.
and Jimmy
I know
Johnson and Jeff
Jared
Gordon,
suggested
48
that one
and
because I know
24,
that's one of
they're
his
right there in the
favorites
thick
too,
of things as well.
Well, yeah, but the guy in the 20 car, Matt Kenseth, we know how strong he is down here, Larry. And he had trouble down here, or had trouble earlier in the race with the right rear tire. And I knew there was something wrong. That's why he fell back. But now you got Kyle Busch, his teammate. You got the 20 car of Kenseth. And the Gibbs' cars are starting to group up to make a run here.
Well, it's kind of the point of this.
Biffle on the inside of the front. Kyle Busch made a nice move in that 18 to pull up behind Matt Kenseth. Those two Toyotas you spoke of. It's Chevy versus Ford on the front.
And plus Hamlin is lurking over there behind the 24 of Jeff Gordon. So all of a sudden it looks like it's going to be a Hendrick Roush Gibbs battle here.
Mike Carl Edwards stayed out on the last caution, but when he did pit the previous stop, Jimmy Finnick told him before he even left pit road, save fuel, save fuel, save fuel. They were going to be a little over a lap short. Carl went into fuel conservation mode. Then when they got the caution, they are good to the end, as is Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch.
I know. I'm kind of glad Sprint's gone. It makes you think a caution just come out.
That and another company that was always bad that did those little banners was Liberty Mutual.
Oh yeah, Liberty Mutual and Sprint. Making you think that a caution just come out.
Under the green flag.
And the bad thing is
it
it takes so long for the logo to pop up. It's like a yellow bar before anything pops up.
Position here with 30 laps to go on the Daytona 500.
And if he finishes in the top 10, guess what? Kids eat free at the old Golden Corral.
Where at?
Coming around to 29 laps to go. How about one more? Need for speed? Rank it up. Need for Speed in theaters everywhere, March 14th. Looking back from Dale Earnhardt Jr. at Greg Biffle's Ford.
Boy, that 88 car is strong, Larry. That restart, he got out there. He can go on either lane. He can go left. He can go right. But here comes that 16 car. My gosh, did you see that side draft? What a thing of beauty. That was perfect.
He went right up against Dale Earnhardt Jr., right to that cushion of air, and then it catapulted him off the 88 car.
And he busted right out of that bubble of air and took the lead.
No.
I know you want to know who
he
wins.
has his teammate
Exciting.
at Roush Fenway. Carl Edwards beat right behind him with
What do you
Junior on the
think of
outside in the Chevrolet.
Still just think the guy that kind of keep an eye on is that 20 car. We know how strong those Toyotas are, and he's got
At first, I
up
thought
there
I
right
liked
in
the
the
SS.
third
Like I
spot.
hated the Camaro at first, but now I think the Camaro's growing on me.
Yeah.
I mean,
He might be a guy that can make some moves.
Like,
We've seen the
I
11
think it's
do it.
hard for me to
We've seen him
see
do it.
these paint skins we have right here. I couldn't imagine them on the Camaro
Here
body.
comes Edwards.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was weird how the the grill that's real big on the Camaros.
Yeah.
I was never a fan of that. I'm like, oh, I like the Chevy emblem that's on the SS, but I think it grew on me a little bit. So I do like the kind of, it feels like a little bit more boxier maybe.
Yeah.
You know, bulkier kind of car. So I like the look of it. So that's my opinion.
Brian Vickers on to pit road. 26 laps left. If Mother Nature allows.
Oh, I think we're going to make it to the end. I don't think there's any problem there.
But Darrell, every driver in that pack is driving like it's the last lap, because it could be.
Well, they may not be as confident as I am. We're going to make it to the end. But there goes Carl Edwards in the 99. He said he's going to get up there and get him a little lead.
3 wide, big stack up here.
He's got Matt Kenseth right with him in that yellow 20 car.
Matt's car's little dicey. Matt's car moves around a little bit more, and I'd like to see it move around, but I think that's because it's just nice and free, and he's probably running. It makes it run fast.
25
when I look
to
at
go.
this wad of cars, 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, it's not Mother Nature that has me concerned right now.
I think I know who wins.
25 laps to go, 62.5 miles.
I'm just going to enjoy.
Around this 2.5-mile tri-oval.
Okay.
I was asking him earlier, I said, did so-and-so win?
We're going to give you a
And he
great
wouldn't
race.
answer me. I'm guessing that's
NASCAR
right.
on Fox, side by side.
We'll see. Oh.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they're going like side by side, so they're just like doing this to not have the commercials there.
This is kind of strange.
Yeah. And they just be quiet too, so there's no audio, so we have to keep them entertained here. So what's the chat up to? We're just going to talk about teams of yesteryear. Someone said they were in elementary school when this race happened.
What is it? Oh, 2014? Oh, wow.
So they're still pretty young.
I was a senior in high school.
I was a
college student.
in college.
Ooh, older boy.
Wow.
Just kidding. I didn't even know you.
You liked an older boy?
No.
Wait, what? Okay. Well, come on. We need the racing to be sound back.
How did you meet Iceberg?
On the computer.
He met him on the computer.
They met on a computer.
No, I mean, you gotta say more of a background because some people don't know.
He emailed me after seeing one of my first few videos, and said we need to talk, we need to do something, and we said, okay, well, let's maybe do a podcast kind of thing on a video chat or something like that. Okay, sure. And now we have the 4th season of NASCAR Wiki Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand.
Okay, now you can say how you met me.
I met her in my English class, and she was just needed a partner for a project, and it was like a 3-person project, and I was good friends with this one girl.
Of course you were.
Okay. No, I was like really just a friend.
Yeah, I know.
But we needed a 3rd person, and asked Claudia if she wanted to
No,
join
I
us.
think I asked you because I didn't really. I mean, I'm not much of a social person in class, so I'm just kind of sitting at my desk by myself, and these were like desks that at the bottom was like a rolly chair. So like the desk, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Those desks. And so like people are all kind of scooting their little chairs, like grouping together, and I'm kind of like looking around. I'm like, okay, I need to get in a group. And him and another girl were, side by side, and I was like, they were a group of 2. I'm like, having y'all's group. So we did a group project, and it was something we had to like compare products off of like pick a product on Kickstarter and kind of compare what was on the market and whatever. So we picked the coolest cooler. It has a Bluetooth speaker, I think it's like a bottle opener. A little divider. It comes with like plates. There's extra attachments that you can get like with the blender and whatnot. Anyways, long story short, I think it was neat. Kind of came full circle for a wedding gift. He actually bought me the cooler. Yeah. We did a project on. That's how we met.
Miles of racing remain.
That we did. It's a really good cooler. We obviously have only had 2 times to use it, but I think the Bluetooth speaker is really cool. Yeah. And it actually keeps the stuff cold really long time. Has really good wheels.
Yeah, it's really comparable to a Yeti as far as how it keeps stuff cold.
Like I think we had a little get-together cookout at our house last summer, and I put ice in it at like 4 o'clock, maybe around, and put drinks in it. I think 24 hours later, there were still like ice chunks in there. Yeah. And it was the summertime, and I think after the party we just rolled it in the garage or something. So it's still in a warm area. The thing I hate about Yetis or comparable to a Yeti, like stuff like shape-wise, is they don't have wheels. So they're really, to me, not really functional. To carry around. I just like to roll it. Let's go.
And they can get to the front of this lead.
All right, enough cooler talk.
20 to go.
Tell you another driver that has kind of appeared on the scene now that we're 20 to go. We call him the closer. We call him Mr. Where did he come from? Kevin Harvick in that 4
Someone said, has the big one
Sitting there
happened yet?
working
Is
on
there
the top
something?
5 right
Is there
now.
something that's supposed to?
Well, we had a big crash
Something
earlier.
else to keep in mind.
Yeah,
he
so I don't know if
has
there's
the
something.
precious
Another
tires
thing that I
of the
missed
leaders that are
when I
out
was
there.
ranting about a
He
cooler.
finished just a little
Danny,
bit
you going to
after
Nashville?
The rest of the guys.
Yes,
he
we
also
got our tickets for
has more
Nashville
fuel than
today.
anyone. So
They
should
went
it
on
go to a
sale.
green
So
light
we're
checker,
going.
Harvick has plenty.
Yeah,
My
he's got
cousin
a nice
Crystal,
insurance
right,
policy
is
there
going.
with the
It's just
fuel
coming
and
in,
the tires.
and then the podcast guys I know are
He
going to
Jeff
go.
Gordon
And there's
both
one more
pitted on lap
question.
152.
I've seen that somebody.
Yeah, if we go to green white checkered or
where'd it go?
overtime, as we like to call it.
How about Eric?
Not everybody
How'd
else
y'all
up
meet
there,
Eric?
they would be in trouble as
We
far as
bugged
the
the
no
crap out of
race
Eric when he
fuel.
was streaming one night.
you think
and
about
asked if
Carl
he
Edwards.
wanted
Remember what a
to come
rough
on our
speed weeks he
show,
had
and
last
he
year.
enjoyed it.
And
we asked if he
we
wanted to try
spent all
hosting
Friday
it.
morning together doing a
Straight
media
enough,
tour,
he
a satellite
did,
media tour.
and we have
Carl,
bonded and built a great
I
friendship
gotta
ever
tell you, Larry,
since.
he's not an emotional guy, but he got a little emotional.
Is the
about talking
podcast
about winning
on
this race for Jimmy
Spotify?
Finney.
Yes.
I believe it is. I've seen that. I was
How he
scrolling
wanted
back.
to get
We've
back
got it
to
on
Victory
Spotify
Circle.
now.
He
We're gonna
wants
get
this
another place
badly.
for you to listen to.
Jimmy Finney
I
his
listen to it from
crew
Spotify
chief, won
when
this race with
I
Bobby
do,
Allison back in
catering and whatnot for work,
1988.
so sometimes I have to go on
And look at
long
the
drives to
36.
places, and actually
Who would
pulled
have
it up on
thought?
Spotify and
Great
listen to it, and it's
start
actually like
for Tommy
really nice to
Baldwin
listen to
Racing.
and you drive,
Up
and
in
drive
the
if you have somewhere to go.
With 17 to go, like
I mean,
I
just
said,
some things that Sekiel talked about. It's like,
can
look at
win the
this, or
500.
laughing about
And he's
something. I'm
not
like, I
just
can't
anybody.
see
He's
it.
a talented
Oh,
young
you don't
driver
see
from
him
Georgia.
laugh about
He's hooked
croissants,
on with a
though.
full
I know. I think honestly that was the
re-energize
one that I
that
actually
whole
listened to on
race team.
Spotify because I didn't.
Oh.
Oh, there's.
Trevor
They're right. Okay, well that wasn't really bad. And I know somebody asked about Darian, so you can't leave him out. How'd you meet about Darian?
Jared first made friends with him and
for the fifth
invited him
time.
on a show one night, and then he kind of built a great friendship with us all too.
Did y'all
What a bad break.
by
for
the end of season 1?
Running
All 4 of y'all
16th.
were there.
Yeah.
Right up in the
So
thick of
yeah, I
things.
think
They're
on
hating it
Jared's
going
channel he's
tough
created a little playlist. So if you want something really cringy, go back and watch the first episode.
The first
when
season
the net's
is
coming
kind
down,
of.
so that's a good
I think
sign.
it's hilarious because watching
Here's the
Eric or
previous
whatnot.
side.
Even the
Now
last
watch Trevor
episode of the
Bayne right in
first
the middle of your
season is
picture and
crazy
see
because
if
Eric
there
started
is some
off
contact
wearing
here.
like this outfit and
This is
pretending to
the
be an
lap
old
before the
man.
crash.
Like you would
Right in
not
front of
see
him. Oh, yeah, the
2021 Eric
the
used
11
to
got
acting
into the
like
left
that.
front,
He has gotten
left
so
front fender
serious
and-
compared to how he
man.
used to be.
And here's what ends up happening one lap later.
No,
See
I
if we can
think
see anything
just
happen
the
to
cap
that left
came
front
off.
tire. No, the car just gets loose. Car does a
maybe.
little wiggle
Yeah,
right
let me
there.
see.
It gets
I think
loose.
that
He
springs
tries to
away.
catch it,
That's-
and he can't do it. It turns and goes right into the outside
That's your
wall.
Toyota.
Daryl, he was on the
Toyota.
inside of Kurt Busch in that 41
That's
car.
I can't
We've
never
seen
get
it so many
another one.
times. It's almost like that was just pulling Trevor Bayne's car around.
It does. We saw he must be a little bit loose, and then he got on somebody got on his right rear quarter panel right here, the 41 car, and it just pulls the car around.
51,
You see-
Justin Allgaier, the rookie, a little luckier
See
this
that
time.
little
He squeaks
wobble?
by.
See that little bobble he had
I don't
before he
know.
spun the thing? It just sucked him around.
What's the wreck?
Let's ride with Ricky Stenhouse.
This ought to be exciting.
Yeah, he's right here alongside of Trevor. And there you see the 21. It just starts to get loose. He tries to catch it. He almost had it. And whoa, right across the back of the 17 car.
The Wood brothers have
Did you get it?
sponsorship for 12
No,
races this
sorry.
year. They'd love to run the full season. Should other
You don't
sponsorship
wanna give it to me.
materialize, but wearing a uniform reminiscent of the
Okay,
1950s, driving
Gotta be
for one of
helpful with
NASCAR's
it.
oldest
Trying to-
Give it a 5
and most
star.
storied teams and 5 times winners
Get
of
that
the
out of there.
500.
I don't want to see how Mortgage rates
Glenn
falling
Wood,
again.
Leonard Wood, both
Mortgage rates
NASCAR
have
Hall of
fallen
Famers and
again,
their
what?
family race team.
Yeah, let's refinance, right?
Well, Mike, just listening to Steve Letarte and Dale Earnhardt Jr., as soon as that
This
caution flew, Steve Letarte told Dale Jr.,
DRPBR
save
76 says
all
I've
the
seen
fuel
Eric
you
from
can. We're
videos of
good
Eric
to
from high
lap
school. He's
200,
way
but
different
after
back then.
that,
That
it's
is
gonna
funny
be
to see.
close.
I've seen something that he filmed. I think he must have been in high school or something. He's wearing this Kyle
And you know
Busch.
what- you know what I like
is it?
about
like
this, Mike?
Have you seen
Oh,
it?
it's like a Halloween costume.
It's like a
Take
Halloween
risks. I
like
heard Jeff-
fire
Jeff
suit.
Gordon
It's
said,
so
"You gotta
funny.
take risks
Just
to
because
win
like
this
it's
race."
it's neat to see
Well,
how
they're
people
taking
evolve
a
over
risk right
time.
Yeah.
And whatnot. not. I mean, everybody kind of starts out trying to figure out what they want to kind of content you want to create. You know what you want to do.
Even my channel has changed so much within the first few years.
Like I remember, you first starting out is almost worlds of difference of how you, and that was just a couple years ago. You know, and you were still like, I don't think you have to necessarily be like young or a kid, like, and have like older stuff that's way different. It's like, you know, you were out of college by the time you started your channel, so it's like, and you knew what you were doing at that time, so it wasn't like you were just like, oh, I want to have fun, just chose whatever. You know, so it's just kind of interesting how.
I started YouTube with the intent on trying to make a career doing what I want to do.
In third.
And so far it seems like it's
been
pretty well. Got to meet a lot of people for
the
sure.
weather that has been advancing on Daytona Beach that caused a 6-hour rain delay earlier.
I said I don't want to say who I'm working for,
the narrowest
but I
part
did
of
get
the
a
Florida
full-time job managing a YouTube
Seems to have stalled just a little bit. We've got 14 laps to go.
We got this thing.
That yellow ring is 20 miles out from Daytona Beach.
Rain is close.
So we're coming green with Earnhardt trying to win it for the second time. Jimmy Johnson back-to-back. Kevin Harvick to repeat. And how about that 36? Reed Sorensen for Tommy Baldwin Racing with crew chief Todd Parrott, a two-time Daytona 500 champion himself. They took gas only a while back.
No, Todd, just gas.
Position, look where he is.
Todd Parrott, and Larry knows this. He's a great crew chief. Had some problems at the end of last year, got them all sorted out.
Come on, Golden Corral. Those kids need to eat for free.
Yeah.
13 laps to go. Green flag.
I've never eaten at Golden Corral.
Jr. brings him through the restart zone. Past the start-finish line.
Is it okay?
He drops down.
I mean,
it used to be really good, but it's about the same as Ryan's.
I love Ryan's. We would go there a lot. Well, no, I say a lot, but we would try to make it a tradition in the summer. We'd go to, this is kind of random, we would go to an amusement park in Kentucky, and then, what's it called? Beach Bend in like Bowling Green, Kentucky. And then we would come, like on the way back, or I don't know if it was in Bowling Green or on our venture home, we would pass Ryan's and we would stop. We did that for several years in a row. We would go with some family friends. We would pick one day on the summer, go up, do the amusement park, and then eat Ryan's on the way home. Like that was just a thing. I mean, I think I've eaten at Ryan's a couple other times, but that just reminds me of childhood. I've really enjoyed that.
The fifth one of the night. Jeff Gordon up the outside with Denny Hamlin.
All right, buffet talk.
Kevin Harvick comes up to cover the spot.
Yeah, both the Joe Gibbs drivers of Denny Hamlin, the 11, Matt Kenseth in the 20, jumped up there.
Oh, gosh. Golden Corral is nasty. I went there once and heard the staff yelling at each other in the back. Well, that don't sound like a good experience.
Me and her have gotten where we like watching like Gordon Ramsay Kitchen Nightmares and things like that. And there was this one where it was like the people who owned it used to be husband and wife, that they divorced, but they still owned the restaurant together, and they were just having an all-out brawl.
You could hear from the dining room. It looked like.
Up front all night long. But when it comes down to showtime, when it comes down to who's going to get the big trophy, the Harley Trophy, who's always going to be in the front?
Yeah.
11 laps to go. Let's go back for our 5-hour energy big move of the race. This restart, where Dale Earnhardt Jr. times it to get out just ahead of Jimmy Johnson. To slide down in front of his teammate and try to hold everybody off. That's your 5-hour energy big move.
Well, one of the things I don't like, and they've been getting away with it, fine, that's all good, but I don't know how much longer it can last, are some of these quick moves. Double moves cause double trouble. And swinging down in front of somebody and swinging back to the outside, they're going to have to watch that as it gets closer to the end here.
Krista, how about that second place car?
Oh!
Kurt Busch goes for a spin off turn number 4, slides toward the inside. We're staying green as the starter flashes open hands.
Well, that's strange.
10 laps
but I guess he's way by himself.
No,
I know, but it's just kind of strange to me for there to be a caution and no.
Pavement.
Maybe. I don't even know what I said. I'm getting tired.
A crash
Field out of turn 2.
Thank you.
But I think it's a correction. They're still getting
They're getting dicey.
Sprint, darn you.
Go away.
No, the 41. Yeah, he got it fired up. He's backing up. He's in the.
It's like, I want to see. Yeah, thank you. I want to see that.
Jeff Gordon down to the bottom in the 24. And now it is 3 Hendrick Chevys. 1, 2, 3 on the inside.
I like that. 1, 2, 3.
Kurt Busch got away. We stay green. 9 laps to go.
Like that.
There comes Kevin Harvick.
Is it Casey Kane or Casey Mears in the file?
Just up in front of him in that 48.
The strongest cars we've seen down here are all at the front right now. The 11's there.
Oh, I thought that was Todd
the 4 of Harvick. We've seen
when did he enter
the strongest cars that have been here all week.
Oh, so he hasn't been in Cup long. That sucks. So he's already getting kind of short on the stick this year.
The 4 drivers in the front have a combined 7 Daytona 500 wins.
Wow.
These are the guys that know how to win the Daytona 500. The guys you see at the front right now. Jeff Gordon has, 3 wins down here. Jimmy Johnson. Jeff Gordon got 2 wins, sorry. Jimmy Johnson's got 2. I mean, these guys are good. Hill Jr.'s got 1.
8 laps to go. Harvick knows the way to victory lane. And trying to get there, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Reed Sorensen still there with Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards in the top 10.
Yeah, Reed didn't get a great restart. He kind of fell back through the field there, but man, that old 36 car, it comes up through the middle pretty good.
Look at Brad Keselowski in that 2 car just pushing Jeff Gordon in that 24.
Just pushing Jeff Gordon.
And still in that lead pack, we talked to him at the top of the day, talked about him, Terry Labonte. In his 32nd and final Daytona 500, he's still within 1.2 seconds of the lead.
Hey, it's your last race. Make it a good one, buddy. Texas Terry.
Jeff Gordon jumps to the outside, the 24 car, trying to take his second spot away from Keselowski.
7 laps to go, looking back from Dale Earnhardt Jr. at Brad Keselowski, 1-2.
Boy, you make the wrong move. Jeff Gordon made somewhat of a bad move there, and it's going to cost him.
And I keep seeing Kyle Busch in that 18 car talking about drivers that want to win the Daytona 500.
No.
We got 7 to go.
That's contagious. The yawning.
Man, look at those cars move around. We're running over 200 miles an hour.
Hey, it's only 8:30.
Every bit of the skill.
Still early for us.
They're trying to
there's a big one.
Yikes.
Justin Allgaier, Brian Scott, Terry Labonte.
Brian Scott, was he in the 30? No.
He was in the 44. That's when he retired in.
44. Okay. Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
Up in a hurry. This
is he in the 33?
Be good for those drivers up front that are very low on fuel.
Parker Kligerman.
I was thinking in the 44. I remember him in that
one. Both the Swan Racing cars torn up in
he
this
was
one.
in the last.
They did that earlier in the week, and they were just lucky to piece everything together to make this Daytona 500. And now they've got a couple of more torn up cars. What a bad bunch of luck for them.
6th caution flag with 6 laps to go.
That car is just all silver. It's funny. It looks like it
is a pretty car.
It's funny how they were showing it. Almost looked like it was the screen was in black and white.
Down the end of the race,
I was like, "Where's the color on that car?"
I mean, like I said, you just can't give anymore.
Let's see.
Aspendale, former sponsor of Danica Patrick.
Clean your teeth.
Clean them up. Get them teeth clean. Got another one.
Lucid Spark it's a long one. We can skip this.
Yeah, we are not sticking around for you. And here we go, and bye.
It's simple. Nope.
No, and bye.
There we go. Let's get back to the race and the important stuff.
Well, it looks like the 3 car of Austin Dillon got into the back of the 31, gave him a shove, and it got him loose.
What would you associate Ryan Newman most for? What number?
In front of him.
Plus, it just as he was about to turn off
he drove
the
a 6,
well.
31, 39. But I think most people.
Here's another look. Watch the cat Chevy of Newman. 31.
39, I'd say, was probably the second best.
And it turned him.
12 was definitely
just
what
in
I
that vulnerable spot.
I hope he gets, like we were talking about earlier. Did we think he was going to
somehow got through there?
Retire soon? I really hope he gets one more win before he retires.
I know. I'd like to see him get another win on Super Speedway.
This happened back about 14th place.
That's true. Someone just said about the Saints game. 30
Man, they
Saints,
are grinding.
20.
I mean, that's just grinding it down right there.
Pirates.
Oh, I can see that now. Okay.
Brandon Davis, owner of Swan
Yes,
Racing.
it is.
Cool.
And with 4 minutes, well, I guess 4 minutes, 57 seconds, so more like 5 minutes left. That might solidify them.
Yeah.
They're going to finish on the rollback. Frankie
Someone
Stoddard's
said
car.
I think 31 is what they associated with more than
for Terry Labonte, who said after he qualified Thursday in the dual race, this would be his 32nd and last Daytona 500.
Mike, this is at the end of the day when you've been out here since 1 o'clock. We started the race today at 1 o'clock. You've been out here all day and most of the night. Your energy level's low. You're tired. Your focus is a little bit off.
That's something
and
like
man, it doesn't take but just a little bit to make a mistake at these speeds.
Now, Larry, of the top 15, there are only a couple of cars that
I want to know if there's like any special thing. Why did like Jimmy and Jeff have neon numbers?
Now we do know that Kevin Harvick
I think it's just
was
kind
one of the
of
drivers
there
that
for a
came
while.
back
They were
to
just
pit
doing
road
it.
at
At one point,
152
I think
and
pretty much
topped
all
off
the
just like
Hendrick
Jeff Gordon.
cars
But
had
the
neon
saving
numbers.
grace
Like
up into this
2007,
caution right here,
25
we had
car
run
had neon
14
numbers, and it had
caution
the same
laps since they
Jeff
were on pit
Gordon.
road.
Right. The 5
That
car
definitely
had neon
buys them,
numbers,
especially
48
cutting it
had neon
off like
numbers,
that. That's
and
going to
24 had
buy
neon
them
numbers.
a number of laps.
I think it's just kind of like a brand they start to establish.
Oh, okay.
Well, on the highways,
Not no
they
more
call
with the
this
48.
hypermiling.
I'm glad they did that.
The engine to save
Well,
fuels. In fact,
William
some
Byron is
modern
the only car that
automobiles
has neon
will
numbers.
do it
And I
for
don't like that because
But
it's
not
like,
to win
and
the
they're
Daytona
using like the
500.
same
Probably
kind
not.
of
Well, yeah, don't
theme
forget,
as
on
Jeff Gordon.
Bowman's car, they
last
kept the
lap of
neon
the fourth
48
round, so
on like the front and
if
back
that should
bumper.
happen, we know
I
that.
Oh, I
think
didn't
it's
notice
like
that.
a nod to Jimmy, kind of.
And I'm fine with that. I'm talking about the main number on the door.
Over. He's
I
out
don't
of the
like
car.
how William Byron's has been
Pretty wrecked up. Michael
so
Waltrip, it has
similar
been,
to Jeff Gordon.
boy, a night of
because it's kind of like a
calamity.
Jeff
Sorry
Gordon
you were
wannabe.
involved in it,
Well,
but
they got Michael
gosh,
Waltrip
6
getting ready for
caution
his
flags and
future.
several multi-car pilots.
But I tell you, Mike, wrecks are going to happen when you got cars bunched up this tight. But the driving that I'm seeing at the front of the pack is the most amazing display of talent and timing and taking chances.
Eagle Sucker.
Just showing the passion, the desire, how much winning the Daytona 500 would mean. Dale Jr., Greg Biffle, Jimmy
Yeah,
Johnson.
if
now
the
Brad
Buccaneers
Kay
hold on
coming up in the
this,
middle of
that'll
this.
be
I've never
big,
seen
seeing
guys
Tom Brady
race
and the
harder than I saw the last 10 or 15 laps.
Buccaneers
And this
Aaron
finish,
Rodgers and the
it's going to be something else.
Who would
And,
you, since
I
that
just-
looks
I
like
hope
that
they make
might
it because
happen,
it'll be the
who
best
do you
2
want
laps
to win
ever in the Daytona
that
500.
game?
Your former
Buccaneers,
teammate
and
and
then we've
wingman,
got
Dale
the
Earnhardt Jr.
Bills
is the leader.
and the Chiefs.
But all
Yes,
week,
I
Michael,
would
you've been
go
very
with the
high
Bills.
on Brad
I'd go with Bills, and
Keselowski's
if we're left
chances.
with
He's
the
the second place
Bills
car. Remind us why.
and
I just like that
Buccaneers
car
and
that he's
Super Bowl.
driving. He just seems to be able to do things
Mostly,
that I didn't see
I want
many
to see
other
the
people do on the
Buccaneers
track.
go for
I
a
ran
win,
around him. He
but
was
I
able
can't
to
recall
sidetrack
a
and really
time
shoot
where
ahead of
team
other cars.
hosting the
And
Super
now he
Bowl
finds himself
Oh,
right
that's
back
true.
with
play
a
in the
chance
Super
to
Bowl
win this
and win the
thing.
Super Bowl
When you're
at
out
the
on the
home
track, it's important to
Wow,
understand the
what a
moves that
talent
you're going to
be
have to
alive
make
that'd be.
to win the
Wouldn't it
race.
be crazy
A
if
lot
they're
of these
like,
guys
okay, you
didn't
have to
make
wear
any of those
the
moves
away
or many of those
jerseys.
Well, it's
moves
whoever's
until the
the-
last
with
10
the-
laps. It's all on the line
It
now.
does with the seating,
And,
so it right.
being a guy that's
So,
been out
I-
there
I
and knows
mean,
what it's like,
I don't know what
can't
seat they are.
believe the way these
How that-
guys are driving. They're
I'd have
cutting
to
each
look
other
into that,
off,
but that would
but
be
they're
interesting
not
to know.
wrecking so far.
here's an iconic
The front
thing.
guys at least.
What?
Whoa, Joe Jr. just picked up a big piece of trash on his grill.
That's not where that
Looks
needs
like a
to
trash
be.
bag or
Looks like a
something.
trash bag.
Or perhaps a piece of bear bond,
Oh, it's bear bond.
that came off Ryan Newman's car.
Oh,
My
thanks,
gosh, the
Newman.
bear bond, it'll stick there and you can't get it
That's
off.
right. That stuff is so sticky. Hopefully,
Hey, you need to get right up behind the pace car. Something come up on our grill.
hopefully it does
Make
not.
sure you have the electric paint off and get right behind the pace car.
That's Steve
Big piece of
Letarte.
Wreck the pace car.
See,
I wonder if
that's
the pace
adhesive,
car
so
knows what's
hopefully
going
it
on. It's like,
doesn't
why
block
is this
the
guy
grill
riding me
opening.
so hard?
I don't know. Kyle Busch
It's
got
not just
right
going to
up
blow
on it
away.
at
That's
one
not a
point.
trash bag.
No, if anything, it's going to get tighter.
Yeah, that's not going to come off getting up there against the pace car.
Yeah.
I don't think so, Larry. Maybe Buster could reach out and pull it off. Buster Otten, the
I'm
passenger in the
reminded of
pace
so
car.
many things. His dad hitting
Oh,
a
my
seagull
gosh.
on the back straightaway, damaging his car. And Dale Earnhardt,
Still on there to get hot.
a mile from victory in a Daytona 500, tries to break the draft, cuts down a tire in turn 3 of the final.
There's probably what he's going to run over and pick up right
Yeah,
there.
I'm surprised he didn't see that. I'm surprised that the spotter or him or somebody didn't tell him about it.
But Larry, is that blocking the opening to the grill, do you
Oh,
think?
that thing is huge.
It's definitely over part of the opening. But
make it.
here's what I would say. It's 2 to go,
Yeah, right.
but get that piece of trash on the grill.
It might help him, you know, if it doesn't
Hey
get
guys,
overheat.
this could be an advantage. He's only got to run 3 laps. That's going to make his car more slippery aerodynamically. He's in the front. This could help him a little bit. It's
a good
not going to
point.
overheat in 3 laps, I don't believe.
No, I don't
Why would
either.
that
I
help,
tell you,
being
I
having a
think
car
you're right, Mike. I
slippery?
think it'll help him.
Well, especially with him being out front.
Like, I don't know how that could be an advantage by having something blocking the grill.
It is weird how like that happens. Literally, okay, we got 2 to go, and now I got the bunch of trash all over.
And yeah, you definitely don't have time to pit. It's just like, well, gotta.
And it's funny, like, you can't
Now,
miss
most
that. He's
of
got a
what you
perfectly
see in
beautiful
black on
white
the front
car,
of
and it's
that
like,
car
wham!
is not
Yeah.
grill opening. The grill opening is a narrow slit within the grill area.
You don't have time to
And
pit,
it
so you're
has
just like, I hope my car don't blow up.
mesh,
I hope it
right
don't
in it.
overheat.
So
It's like,
pretty
well,
narrow
I got 2 to go.
is
Let's
the
go as
amount
fast
of
as I can.
actual opening
Yeah.
to the radiator there, and from what I can see, that bear bond is not covering it very much. So let's set the field for you as they come around to 2 laps to go. Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to win the Daytona 500 yet again. Brad Brad Keselowski for Roger Penske, trying to give the captain his second victory. And remember, it was Dale Jr. who gave Keselowski his big break to drive Junior's car in the Nationwide Series. Now, right behind them, Jeff Gordon, the 24. Kyle Busch in the 18.
Oh, look how many people we have watching the ending.
Wow. They always know when the ending's coming, I swear.
It's like, oh yeah, let's get on. Thanks everybody for joining.
Yeah, 347 here to watch.
Wins this year count more than ever. You win it, you might be in the chase. It might be the win you need, and it's a chance to get one right here.
Kelly Earnhardt Miller, Dale Jr. sister looking on, and here we go. Green flag.
Seems like he got a good restart.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets to that restart, folks, and he is gone.
Oh, Jeff.
Yeah, that car is.
What happened to Jimmy? Where did he go? Oh, he's 6. Okay. He's still close.
He definitely doesn't want to get too far out. We know that's not good. And he is making a pretty good gap here.
Here comes the 2.
Hopefully this is good finish. I don't like when people just like dominate and win.
From behind.
Hopefully it makes me
Gaining on the leader, Junior.
Like that one we watched last time was cool.
Jeff Gordon now leading the inside row. Unless Keselowski or Busch or Denny Hamlin in the 11 drops down, it's Hamlin.
What a move by Hamlin.
Woo-hoo. Now, if we get back to the white flag, we have a race.
Our favorite guy, Super Speedway's Hamlin, making a move.
In the middle.
No, he's not going to win.
He just shoved Kyle Busch right out of the way. Ricky Stenhouse in the 17th.
Third place. White flag.
Stop. No, he doesn't. Stop it.
Challenge in that blue
Stop
floor.
it.
You know what, Larry? I believe that tape's going to stay on there, and that baby's going to come home a winner.
Denny Hamlin has not lost a race this week. He's number 11. Keselowski, the 2012 champ, battling back to the top. And Dale Earnhardt Jr., the Pied Piper of Daytona, trying to hold them all at bay.
And Kyle Busch was trying to make a third line at the top of the racetrack.
Boy, here they come. Now, this is where it gets interesting. We've seen a lot of passes off turn 4 than a start-finish line. But that 88 is pulling away.
Less than a mile to go.
Oh, crash.
Third generation star, Dale Earnhardt Jr. brings him to the flag. Checkered flag, waving it's over.
Is that where happy Denny B noises are?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Oh, did he win? He's done a run now.
Reed Sorensen's race ends up
there's
in
your
a
winner.
crash.
Kids eat free.
Kids
eat happy now.
Carl Edwards 99 all torn up. Here comes Kyle Busch backwards across the start-finish line.
I forgot he did that.
Kyle wins in reverse.
The caution flag waved before
Wait, who was
Earnhardt
driving
took
the Gold
checkered
Corral
flag.
car?
Officially, the race ends under yellow. NASCAR will review
I cannot believe it.
Ha ha ha.
They'll review all
Oh, sorry,
four
kids. He
traffic and
finished in
video
16.
evidence.
Kids did
It'll
not
be a
eat
while
free.
before
Sorry,
we have
guys.
an order of finish.
You ruined it for the kids.
Sorensen is okay.
Yeah, are you happy,
Carl Edwards
Reed?
moving
Kids
around
don't
in
eat
his
free.
car.
Now all the veterans like, good job, buddy. You got one
The
for us.
Pied Piper leads them around.
Oh, I was
for the
thinking you meant
final
veterans as in like
How can you take some
military
bad luck,
veterans.
get something on your grill?
Because I'm like, because he's a
With 3
national.
laps to go, a
But
piece
that
of
would be
tape.
great.
You couldn't come down pit road and put a piece of tape on there
All right,
and do any better.
And that tape even, made an appearance on the Raceman diecast.
Did it really? Oh, that's funny.
Which we have. I don't
Dude,
know. You didn't know that.
well, that's who I guess I said is like I just randomly was like, wait, do we have? Not do we have that? I'm like, does he win? No, the kids.
Remember, in the offseason, his crew chief Steve
You have to
Letarte
show me that
said
diecast.
to Dale Jr.,
Is it on
"This
that little
our
round
final
ladder shelf?
Season together.
Okay.
Let's make
I want to
it
see that little
memorable."
tape. I think that'll be cool.
They already have.
It's awesome, dude. I can't quit watching you right now.
Steve Letarte, his crew chief.
A champion of the Daytona 500.
I've said it, and I've said it, I've said it. Those two guys are going to do a lot of good things this year together because they know what it means.
But Dale Earnhardt Jr. has gone winless in 4 of the last 5 years. Won't be able to say that about 2014.
Or keep counting his runner-up finishes in the 500.
I agree.
That 88
always
that thing could get out front, and he could just go from one side to the other. I mean,
Sadly, I never got to see
he
him
just had a
person.
fast car at the end of the
Seen
day.
Chase Elliott win
Dale
the
Earnhardt
All-Star
Jr.'s got a little
race.
When was his
celebration
last
planned
win?
here.
Dale Jr.
See what he's going to do. Not a whole lot he can do right now. The whole front straightway is
His
full of
last
cars.
NASCAR win was 2016 Richmond Xfinity before he had his concussion. His last Cup Series
He
win
is saluting the
was
fans.
Phoenix 2015 in the fall because of rain.
Well, how sad is this? I've never, I guess technically, This is the first Dale Jr. win I've ever seen.
Reminiscent.
I've never seen Dale Jr. win.
When Alan Kulwicki won his first Cup race,
And I don't recall ever watching.
As Kulwicki called it.
Well, I pretty much watched the full race. I didn't get to see the first.
Your face right in front of the fans.
I didn't get to see the first 30-ish lap. So this is probably the most I've ever seen of a Dale Jr. win.
That excited.
I mean, I'm sure I've seen clips of something, but I've never rewatched something.
He was very happy. He should be, but look at him. I had never seen him that happy.
Enjoying every minute of it.
Seen him that pumped up.
No, I haven't either, Larry. It's just so good. Look at him. He's going to jump out of that thing. He'll be up on the side of the door there in a minute like his dad used to do.
And he's about to be a 40-year-old little kid, but I guess there's a little kid in all of us, especially when you win the 500.
You win a race and you're in the playoffs. So he was the first person to make it in on that format.
Yeah. It's like, woohoo!
11-time NASCAR's most popular driver, and that is voted by the fans.
And Dale Jr. captures the flag at the start-finish line. Begins to head toward victory.
Oh, he does look really
You're going to have
excited.
some kind of celebration back at the old Hendrick Motorsports
Like
shop.
you, like
Probably
drivers.
over
I mean, I guess maybe the 500, maybe people are a little bit more excited. But like Kevin Harvick's like, "Yay, I won! Thanks, fans."
Well, you gotta understand, like, he won in 2008 when he came to Hendrick. He won one race, and after having a really good year where
And then he didn't win again for like 4 months.
He didn't win again until literally 4 years later. The exact same Michigan race 4 years later in 2012.
I think the fact that for some, well, I guess maybe because Dale Earnhardt helped, because he was leading him, like he became so popular. But I'm sorry, but if a mediocre, like just a rando driver had that kind of career, they would probably be fired. But the thing is, fans loved him so much, even though he didn't win.
And got the sponsors, he sold the merch. He did what he had to do.
And it's Dale Earnhardt Jr. capturing the Daytona 500.
Like Chase
There's his
Elliott
sister
like
brother-in-law, L.W. Miller,
Yeah.
and crew chief Steve Letarte with the biggest fist pump of all.
But
aside from this
again,
one,
like what I was saying, he went on that stretch from 2008 to 2012, didn't get a win until literally 4 years later.
Right.
And then 2013, he went another year without getting a win. He had 5 second-place finishes.
Wow.
And so then, I think it was at that point he realized, okay, these wins do not come very often.
No.
Watch this part. That's Rick Hendrick.
Is he getting in it? What was he doing? Oh, it looked like he was like climbing in the car. What he actually was! Oh my gosh!
Turn of the 3 car that is made so famous.
Went for a ride.
Jr.
Oh my gosh!
With a victory at the Daytona 500. Matt Yoakum.
Okay, I've seen that clip before, so maybe that's why I knew that.
But you didn't necessarily know that was in the Daytona 500.
No, I don't think I did. But I've seen that clip before. The girls are just like, yay! What's going on?
Just like last time, we might tell everybody and shut it off.
And the biggest hug to Steve Berg, the gentleman at Hendrick Motorsports that works entirely on the restrictor plate super speedway program. Dale Jr. 10 years ago celebrated out in the grass here at the Daytona International Speedway, his first 500 win.
Was it late?
Yeah. I stayed up for a while that night because I was just so hot that
Rick Hendrick.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're probably glad you didn't fall asleep.
Oh, we got mad.
Video will play.
TurboTax. I don't need to know about TurboTax.
It's like, no, I don't want to know. It's tax season almost.
Yeah, I don't want to pay my taxes.
File with the help of an expert, or let an expert file for you. Intuit TurboTax Live.
Nope.
Dale, does your second Daytona 500 win take on even greater significance considering the journey you've traveled over the past 6 years?
Yeah, I think so. Man, this winning this race is the greatest feeling that you can feel in this sport. And aside from obviously accepting the trophy for the championship, I didn't know if I'd ever get a chance to feel that again, and it feels just as good, if not better than the first, because of how hard we tried year after year after year, running second all them years, wondering why and what we needed to do.
And from like
I got to get my head together. I got to thank National Guard,
2010,
Diet Mountain Dew, all our sponsors, Kelly Blue Book, Chevy and Sprint, and my team. This race car was awesome. We showed them there all night long how good a car we had. And it's because these guys right here putting it together in the shop, man. That thing would do anything. We could fight off battles after battles. And we got a little help at the end from Jeff to get away on that restart and just sort of try to take care of it from there. It was, this is amazing.
His
I can't
numbers
believe this is
interesting.
happening.
Like
never take this for granted, man, because this just doesn't happen.
They did something where it was like
twice, let alone once.
Gave
So
a reflective look
just real
to
thankful.
It, even though
Thanks to all my fans.
It has like a texture or something.
NASCAR says you're not
pretty
supposed to
much
have
might be in the
reflective
chase.
numbers, but they did something to make it look reflective.
Get that out of our chest, and we're 2-time Daytona 500 champion.
You've told me several times you cannot put into words and measure what Steve Letarte has meant to you and your career. Did he resurrect it?
Surely. Him and all these guys, you got to give. He builds a great crew. These guys are so talented. So, obviously, Steve knows what he's doing. Put a lot of good people around us to make us successful.
Well, you are going to be happy to be noises
again. They put a lot into
again.
this car, all winter long. This thing's got 11 coats of clear coat on it, on top of the decal. They clear coated, then decal.
Well, did you have a problem with the Saints?
Sanding, clear coated, sanding, clear coated.
I like
that's just
Kamara.
part
I
of
don't
the
really
effort
like the Saints
that goes into
overall.
this car to make it what it is. And the whole series is that dedicated and devoted. But the man hours and the time and sweat and blood these guys put into these things, man, it's so rewarding to be able to take it to victory lane for them.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Chris?
Alrighty. Well, that is another Daytona 500 we have watched.
Yep. And we've got 4 weeks to Daytona.
Yep.
So we might do a couple more of these leading up to it just to keep the hype going.
Yep. I don't know what Daytona 500 we'll watch next. Maybe we'll have to dig something out of the vault from the 2000s or even the 90s.
Maybe. I'm really interested in 2017. Because like I said, we might have to throw that in the mix. Maybe since we did something more recent, maybe we go a little bit back, do an old one, and then kind of jump new because we already did something pretty recent.
Maybe.
So maybe do something a little bit older. Definitely vetoes our 2011 because we already know Turbine.
Yeah.
And
2001.
And definitely not that one. I think.
And even though it's obviously great, there's no need to watch 98. Everyone knows who won that one.
Yeah. So and I think but we're not going to go too far back where it's just grainy and pixelated. You can't really see what's going on. So we'll just have to see. And we will probably do this again next week. Just stay tuned to his Twitter account.
And the community tab on YouTube.
I forget that because I never get those little things on my page. So anyways, don't forget to hit the like button.
Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel.
Oh, yeah.
And Jeff Gordon fans, tune in tomorrow. Have a special video for you guys.
That's true. It's interesting.
All right.